love that could not be. Now my sin is wanting you, though you've forgotten me.
Oh, hi you guys, and welcome to another stream. Today we are playing the Cypher system with a fantastic cast as we pretend to be old-time superheroes. So we are very excited for this, very excited indeed. If you guys want to be involved, these are the links that you need. Social links. Discord is where we put live updates of us going live. We talk about D&D. We talk about character creation and rules. We talk about artwork and show and share artwork. And also it is a place which is extremely helpful and inclusive. So if you guys want to come and learn to play D&D, we are all about bringing new people into the community, and that Discord server is your first port of call. There's some amazing people in there who will help you out. If you want to play a game, get on the Twitter, send me a DM, pop me a follow, send me a DM, and we'll get you a game. Simple as that. I'll put you in the diary, and you'll be in the game. No problems at all. And YouTube is where you can keep up to date with all of our current videos. Now, we also have a Patreon. We recently hit our first goal. Big hype for that. And also, there is now a sneak background sort of like show on the Patreon right now for all our patrons. Doesn't matter what level sub you are, you can literally go and view it for $1. Where me and Kiana did some one-to-one D&D last night for the Barovia campaign going on, and it was just really nice, happy, fluffy little background stuff, and I might cry because Turner Canisterus are too good. And also we have merch and a competition for said merch on our Twitter, so go on that tweet and fill in the Gleam information. There's something like retweet, follow, all that sort of business, and you can be in with a chance to win some free merch, and I can even show off some of said merch because I got it in the post yesterday. Here is an Academy t-shirt. There we go. You see? Let's get the red bubble thing out of the way. There's an Academy t-shirt in purple with the crest, Let's Evoke Emotions, right there. You guys can win that sort of thing. I will be sporting that this Thursday at the Maze Arcana European Tour, so there you go. But I think that's everything. So, I think with that we can go and get the guys. Oh, hi you guys.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Well, Marcy, how would you like to do this? Would you like to introduce a scene and us introduce ourselves into it, or go around first and then come to you at the end?
Let's go around first, get everyone to introduce themselves, the character that they are playing, and maybe a weird fact about that character.
Oh.
Just a weird quirk, something that you like to do.
Okay. Cool. So we shall start then with Alice. Good morning, Alice.
Oh God, now I've got to think. Yeah. Good morning. I am playing Felicity Cooper, who is a very, very British lady. She is an explorer and like a archaeologist, adventurer. However, she's not very good at it. She is very much she believes in manners, and people should be very nice to one another. She doesn't understand people who are rude, and she loves books, museums, information, anything that sounds like a mystery she absolutely loves. And I think Jack Clegg is playing her other half.
Yes, I shall be playing Jack Clegg. And, you know, someone's got to look after Felicity, because she is just going to get in trouble so often whenever she's doing all these adventures and things, you know? So I'm sort of there to make sure that she's okay. You know, there might be some feelings between us as well, but we don't like to go into that too much.
You're American!
I'm dying!
You sound like the Blues Brothers again.
Well, I mean, they are American.
Great. This is gonna be so great.
And a weird thing about Jack, let's see. Well, he does talk really, really fast for a start. In fact, he does everything really, really fast. He was always quick to pick things up. Literally, not like quick to pick things up. Yeah, he's been hanging around with Felicity for a long time. They've seen some weird stuff.
I can't let that go, including Felicity.
Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, who was next?
Chelsea.
Okay. I'm Chelsea, and I'm going to be playing Lucille Braxton, who in fact is actually a little bit more in tune with some interesting powers, I guess. And by night, when she crawls the streets, she goes by the name, I'm Miss Memberment. And Miss Memberment has learned to release her arms and limbs so that she can sneak into places. Yeah, pops it up. You don't lose your head, honey. That kind of a thing. So anyways, yeah, she a bit of a quirky one. She's actually grew up on the streets of Silver City, so she's kind of like born bred, first generation American kind of a thing for her family. And yeah, she's actually a magician's assistant, as per her powers allow her to be. And she's got a history, her bit of information. She's got a history with a pretty sketchy ex-boyfriend that we have aptly named Chet Manjaw.
We all have that ex-boyfriend.
Give me a second. I got to write down his old name. I wrote down a new name. Got it. Chet Manjaw.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Lucille. And she in fact is she works under her boss, Mr. Simon.
And so next will be Toolschool.
So, I am playing Simon Sinclair, who is a magician here in New York City with a very accent that is all over the place because he's actually from over in Queens, but he's trying to be very smooth and is all greased and oiled and wears his formal attire. And but his secret is in fact that he is selling himself as an illusionist, like the great Harry Houdini and some of the others, and Blackstone. But how he gets away with it is by using real magic, and in his act. And luckily, came across his brilliant assistant Lucille, who, with her extraordinary abilities, have brought his whole act to a brand new level. So he is trying to make his way in upper class society and cast off his old Queens upbringing here, or Kings, in the Kingsborough here in the city, because it's totally not New York.
Sorry, the Silver City Borough.
The Silver City Borough of Kings. Totally not Queens, I tell you.
Definitely not Queens. It's Kings.
It's Kings. Kings.
And last but most certainly not least, good morning, Alex.
Good morning. I'm going to be playing Michael Roth, a member of the News Guild, an ancient organization of supernatural wizards and spellflingers. They protect the city from all sorts of supernatural, I guess, frights and terrors and stuff. And he's just your basic level grunt journalist who goes out and solves crimes.
No big deal, just solving crimes.
Yeah.
Just basic level solving crimes. I love it. That's awesome.
I mean, there are so many.
Men of letters from Supernatural,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of what they are.
Thank you so much to Tool School for the 4-month subscription in a row, and that does remind me that the donations will be a little bit different today. I'll just go through that quickly if you're okay with that, Marcy.
Please do.
So today, advantages, because the Cypher system is a bit different to D&D, we're going to change things around a little bit. So today, advantages are you roll. I think it was roll. We'll roll 2d20 instead of 1d20, and we'll take the second. I think.
Well, advantage can work the same way, where you roll 2 and take the highest, and disadvantage can work the same way as well.
Yeah, that was it. I think advantage, you get a re-roll when you roll a dice. You have a re-roll in the bank, and a nat 20 or a nat 1 is you can roll 2 and take the highest. So that'll work like that. And good things, bad things, they're reasonably the same, I think. Cool. And Tall School, as a 4-month subscriber, you get a nat 20. What are we going to call this? I've not thought this through enough at all.
Actually, we just switched nat 20 on my stream. We call them luck die. So basically, it's a mulligan. And actually, for this time period, it's definitely a mulligan.
It's a mulligan.
It's a mulligan. You have a mulligan to distribute.
I gotta give it to Felicity because
because I might die. You guys need to keep me alive. But
and with that, I hand over to Marcy. Marcy, take it away.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcy, and I will be playing everyone else. Tonight it's this morning, afternoon for some of you, but in game, it's nighttime. We are in a place called Silver City, and in this city, a gentle fog begins to settle, fog that's been coming up from the newly installed sewer systems in Silver City. The streets are not very full in this time period. Maybe 3 or 4 cars can be seen on any given road at any given time, which is why at this point, when each of you see a line of 5 cars rattling down the road to a chorus of what sounds like Tommy guns, in addition, rattling, it catches your eye. And you decide to pursue, but why do you decide to pursue? What catches your eye? What do you hear? What do you see in the car that makes you do so? Let's start with Simon Sinclair.
I think Simon and Lucille, as they want to do, are sitting at an outdoor cafe, reading the paper and having a cup of a cappuccino. I think on Simon's, trying to be very posh and upscale. Lucille, what are you drinking? What's your morning drink?
Yeah, I don't know that she's a coffee drinker. She may have asked for something strong.
Okay.
Just try to slip her something strong. Maybe Lucille knows. She knows the waitress here, and she knows if you give her an extra $5, she'll put something special right in your coffee.
So as you two are having this conversation about what you like to put in your drinks, you start hearing as these cars start passing by.
Simon looks over and catches a glimpse of someone in one of the passenger seats and looks to Lucille. Was it Chet?
So she goes, oh, and turns to look because she hates his name so much and goes, oh my God, it is, and he's making such a scene.
Well, that can't be good.
Oh, it's just my ex-boyfriend. Don't worry, guys. No big deal. It's my ex-boyfriend in there.
Yeah, she looks again and goes, well, nothing good ever follows Chet, and he doesn't make anything good happen.
Yeah, perhaps we should see what he's up to. I would hate for I'd hate for anything to come back on you, and I wouldn't mind getting a little payback on our old friend Chet. What do you say?
I would love a little payback on Chet. Thanks, boss.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful. So you two make your way. Do you have a car with you? Do you flag down a taxi? How do you choose to pursue?
I love the idea of flagging down a taxi. So I put my paper underneath my arm, and I have my cane with me, and I lift my hand to the taxi, and
a car squeals by, and then stops. A taxi driver leans out of the side of the car. She's a Latino woman wearing a newsy cap, and she goes, "Hey, boss, did you see that?"
Yeah. There's an extra bill in it for you if you follow that car. And getting excited, he flips into his old King's accent.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So yeah, you two hop in and are on your way. Let's cut to somebody else. Michael, why do you pursue this line of cars as they turn a corner?
Because they just stole an ancient artifact from one of our vault locations, and I am pursuing at high speed behind them in a car, yelling, You can't steal that! What are you doing?"
So you're actually part of the line of cars. There's actually 4 of them, and you're the 5th one.
Yeah. What do you do? You can't go around with the eye of a Megmon like that.
The Eye of Magmon?
Yeah.
Got it.
Megmon. There we go.
Yep, as you're pursuing, one of the car doors flips open, and there's a man who comes out and attempts to shoot at you. Go ahead and roll me a speed defense roll. Modify it by 2 steps in the positive direction for you. So that's down because you're driving a car and you have something of a shield.
So speed.
Yep, it's going to be a task difficulty 3 when all is said and done.
I rolled a 20. Beats difficulty 6.
You've done it. Yeah, you expertly swerve around, evading bullets both to the inner cab and your tires.
Okay, all right. That's a little bit rude. Like, on a scale of nice to rude, that's fucking rude.
You say it to no one in particular as you pursue this high-speed chase. Let's go now to Felicity and Jack. What are you two doing right now as these cars speed past you into the warehouse district?
I mean, I'm following Felicity wherever Felicity was going.
They've sort of just arrived in this city, and Felicity has got the biggest map out, and she's trying to see over it and see what way things go. And she's just like, oh.
Hey, well, at least in the city there'll be some modicum of safety, you know? At least we're gonna, at least I don't have to protect you from tombs and evil villains and... Oh god, gunshots! Get down!
Beautiful.
They just said, Jack, did you see that? That was utterly ridiculous. How rude! He could have run us over. Or shot us. I've never been shot at before. It's quite exciting.
Welcome to America.
He says as his car screams.
Yeah, just like... Who is that? Did you know him?
See, Felicity, isn't that one of the museum cars?
Well, yes, I guess so. I mean, looking at this map, I was trying to find it, but I guess we could follow one of the cars.
Yeah, you see one of the museum cars. Usually they're driven by people in museum uniforms. This one appears to be driven by a gentleman with like a very large shouldered zoot suit. Wearing a fedora, smoking a cigar, and firing at you as he rolls past. So
these Americans are quite feisty, aren't they? Like, and she's just like, well, I'm going to follow them, and she starts, trotting as she can in her dress that she's sort of scooped up the skirts of and making a run for it.
Okay. I guess I'll run with her. I'll sort of jog to her run.
Beautiful. They are stopping in the warehouse district. It's on its own port. The cars seem to be heading to a port when they are going in there. There is one ship in the dock, and when you arrive, and let's go in order here. It's going to be Michael that is the first to arrive. They know that they are being pursued. So what's going to happen at this point is there's going to be a maneuverability sort of chase scene through this warehouse area. And Michael, from what you can tell, there's about 5 people in total between the 4 cars that you're pursuing.
Okay.
So that's 1 to drive for each, and then 1 in the back of the first one. Followed by you will be the cabbie carrying Mismemberment and Simon Sinclair, and then Jack Clegg and Felicity Cooper on foot.
Okay.
They're driving through these really narrow, what do they call them? Shipping containers?
Yeah.
Like lines of shipping containers, and trying to lose you.
Oh. We can fix that. I'm going to so shipping containers usually have like lines and columns and stuff.
Yes, yeah, they're about 4 or 5 containers tall.
Michael is going to shift and go into another row of like shipping containers, which is just adjacent to the one they're driving in. He's going to floor it to speed up as fast as he can, and he's going to try to sideswipe one of the stacks of containers to have him fall in front of the cars.
Beautiful. Sure. Go ahead and roll me a speed check for maneuverability. And your test difficulty to beat is going to be 4, mostly because you have to hit with precision and not have it tumble back on top of yourself.
That's an 11. Beats difficulty 3.
So if you have XP, you can spend that to reroll.
I'll do that. I have 4 XP. Let's do that.
You're doing it.
18.
Oh, that's much better. Yep. You collide with the side. Your car gets a nasty gash in it, but it strikes true, and it falls to the side, the shipping container that you're next to. You get 2 of the cars stuck in this on the other side. You could still hear, after all of the calamity of these things falling, you can still hear a couple more cars zooming past.
Okay.
So at this point, let's cut to somebody else. Mismemberment and Simon Sinclair. The cabbie is, as you all enter the shipping district, you can all kind of hear, or not kind of, you all definitely hear this calamity as the shipping containers fall to the ground. You can actually see a little bit of it, and there's like a bunch of dust that's poofed into the air.
How close are we to actually hitting those?
You're trailing about 80, 90 feet behind.
The car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you hear Lucille, she kind of like beats the back of the seat. She goes, "Can we go any faster? How am I supposed to get to them?"
The cabbie like leans over the seat back at you and goes, "I'm doing the best I can." And she floors it and she tells you it's going to cost you $20.
Lucille goes, "We've got the money, just hurry up." And you see Lucille start to like climb out of the window of the car to like, she's going to try to get on top basically so that she can hop from one vehicle to another as they come up beside it. That's, I think, her goal at the moment.
All right.
Do I need to roll anything for that?
Do we need to avoid? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Do we see the falling crates, and do we need to avoid those, or has the cabbie already avoided them?
The cabbie's already avoided them. You had enough distance between you that doesn't seem to be a problem. Your problem at the moment right now is kind of pursuing them on their new path. They go at a perpendicular angle to try to escape what appears to be a domino effect of those containers crashing into the ones over.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that's happening now. Mostly balance on Mismemberment's part, and whatever you would like to do, Simon, to aid in this. You now see 2 cars, and they also see you.
So Mismemberment is up there on up on top. Seeing as these guys are shooting, we are crazy. I actually go climbing towards the front and prepare myself for any bullets that might come the way to try to deflect them. So while she's surfing the hood, I'm up on the front, sort of down in 3-point stance, kind of watching for any bullets that might come the way to try to interpose myself between them.
Okay. I need a balance strength check from you and a balance might check from you, Simon, and from you, Lucille, I need a speed.
Oh, okay. So I just
a
need to roll.
balance check. Yep.
Is that how to do that? Did I do that right?
And thank you very much to Lady Purple, who's just redeemed Give the DM an Advantage using their Twitch currency. I don't know how that will work. I guess, Marcy, you can get us to re-roll at some point?
Yes, I think I will do that. So your test difficulty for this, Simon, your test difficulty for your low center of gravity and trying to intercede yourself between bullets. Just for the balance part, let's call it a difficulty 3. And then Mismemberment, yours will be at the top of the car is much less stable. You don't have a background, so we're going to make that a 4 for you.
Okay, so did I do that right? Roll 15 beats difficulty 5?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. Good. I just want to make sure. I'm so new to this. I'm figuring it out. Okay,
Quick
cool.
question: does my might defense help me at all in this, or no?
Yes, it will.
So that
If you have training in might defense tasks, it will help.
Which is an asset, or would it be a? Does it drop it by 1? Is that what it does?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's see if I actually entered all these fun things right. Ooh, look at that, nat 20.
Nice.
Ooh, so you get a positive, you get a lasting effect from that. What do you want to happen from your nat 20? What's the good thing that happens as you all approach these cars?
I guess for me, it would be, or maybe the fact that don't distract the driver and she's able to catch up. I mean, is that okay? Because that I'm sort of an extra set of eyes for her up front there to help her navigate.
Yeah, that definitely can help. You will both get an asset on the next task you accomplish for this, which is actually coming up right now. You start getting up alongside of them, and they're going to try to swerve to hit your car into a shipping container.
Oh.
So not anything you need to worry about. It's actually the cabbie's job, but she is only a level 2. And it's going to, your asset will help her. It's going to be a 3 versus 3. So if you could roll.
What am I rolling?
They're a speed, check to maintain balance. You can choose might or speed. They're evenly matched. So like they don't hit, but the swerving is still going to become a problem. Speed defense roll is going to be 3, and you can take your asset to make that a 2.
Okay. So yeah, that's 10, which beats it. So
you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he used to go to Coney Island when he was a kid and used to surf. So those newfangled surfboards. So he's able to keep his balance up on top of there.
Nice.
Good driving, darling.
Yep. And then for Mismemberment, I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult for you. I'd like to intrude.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
It's okay. What it is when I intrude upon you, I'm making the situation a bit more difficult. I'm making your life more interesting by imposing on you some sort of external factor that is going to make it harder for you to keep balance. In this case, you meet eyes with your abusive ex-boyfriend, who is in the driver's seat of this car. And once he sees you, he is redetermined to lose you all. So you take an XP if you accept this.
Okay.
You can use it by paying me an XP.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll accept it. Let's do it.
Okay. So you get an XP for yourself, and you give an XP to give to somebody else.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna give it to Simon.
Okay.
Yes.
So when he sees you and his redetermination flushes, he actually looks askance for a second. He looks scared. He doesn't know who you are for a second, and then it hits him, and his foot hammers down on the pedal, and that car just screams out of the way into the next car.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, she yells at him, "You better run! You never thought you'd see me again!" She yells behind him.
Beautiful. But as this car reels into the other car, that one starts spinning, and his is going to get away.
Yeah, beat the top of the hood of our car. Faster! He's getting away!
And she would drive faster, except this the spinning motion locks up between two containers in front of them and blocks your path.
No! Okay.
So she halts to a stop.
Halt.
Yeah, she's trying to do it in the best way possible so as to not break your bods.
Yeah.
Can I grab on to Lucille and either in case if we're being lurched off of this and thrown to sort of grab her and protect her somewhat.
Yeah. Roll me a might defense task, and your difficulty for this one we're gonna make a 5.
Oof. So does my might defense still an asset in this or no?
Yeah, we'll say yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the Cypher thing, and I am going to spend an effort on this.
Nice.
Out of my might pool. So that would be 3 I spend out of the might pool, which is spending an effort. And let's go. Just barely.
What'd you get?
I rolled a 10. So with an asset and an effort, that would make it a 9, correct? That I
Yes,
needed
it would. You're correct. Yeah, you managed to get off the car and roll to a halt pretty safely. You're still going to take 3 points of might damage, but all things considered, this is best case scenario for you.
So on taking the 3 points of night damage,
Yes.
I use my absorb kinetic energy. And which can absorb up to 5 points of damage, and it goes into my kinetic bank.
Beautiful.
So I have to spend I have to spend an intellect. There we go. I knew there was a cost. So I spend an intellect. I basically wrap Lucille around and go, "Here we go, doll," and basically do a big shoulder roll, hitting hard against the ground. But as I hit, it just basically, you sort of can see it sort of charge up through his shoulder. And now there's a little bit of a slight glow to him. And he sort of looks at it and goes, "I am called the Human Shield."
So where most people might roll after landing, you kind of like hit, and when you're about to roll, just begin sliding and then slow to a halt. Kinetic energy is weird.
Yes.
At this point, Michael, you would have been able to catch up with them as they're sliding off the car. You would have also been blocked off. And Jack Clegg and Felicity Cooper, at this point, you can trot up. You hear a car crash, you hear squealing of tires, and you come across these two, a crashed car with the back hanging out, and some very delicious looking equipment. How do you introduce yourselves, or no?
Well, I mean, this is quite a tense situation. I'm going to put Felicity behind me, perhaps draw my revolver, my Colt single action army revolver, just be like, "Hey, what's going on here? What are you guys up to?"
Lucille, dust herself.
I don't know these people. Let me pull out my revolver. And it's like,
He's American.
Let's get.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right, yeah. Lucille dusts herself off and gets up and goes, "I did not dress for this today. Hi." And she's kind of dusting. She goes, "Whoa! Put the gun down! What are you doing? No need for firearms."
Were you guys the ones shooting?
What?
Jack Clegg, you would recognize them.
Oh, say, hang on a minute.
What?
I know you from the posters, right? Puts a gun away.
You mean
Oh,
from
Sam.
our ex? Yeah, man. Oh, yes.
So what's been going on around here?
No good, I can assure you that. We had an acquaintance with one of the people who was in the car shooting. If he's involved, it's gonna be a nasty business.
It's true. It's my skeezy ex-boyfriend. He's all into the mafia here into town.
Why does it sound too good? Say Felicity, it's okay, it's safe, you can come up.
She's already sort of like coming up behind you, like kind of out of breath, and then sort of just pushes straight past you. And she's like, "Hello, it's lovely to meet you." And she holds out her hand, and she's just like, "I'm Miss Cooper, but you can call me Felicity if you would prefer."
It's nice to meet you. What you doing in Silver City? Are you from here?
No, we are on a trip, and Jack thought he would show me this lovely city.
And so you just started chasing cars?
Well, I saw there was a museum car not too far, and I'm looking for the museum, and I thought the lovely gentleman in there would know where it is.
He's hanging out of the driver's side seats.
Okay,
slumped.
I sort of spot him and go, "Oh, there he is!" And I sort of flap over there, and I take his, is it like a limp hand, like, and I sort of shake it. And I'm like, are you okay, sir? Sir, and she sort of slaps his face a little.
There's like no response from him.
Oh dear.
I'm
Jack,
not
we have a
sure
little bit of a problem. This man might need assistance. Hello, and she just keeps smacking him. And she takes out like some smelling salts and just starts wafting them under his.
You attempt to do that. Nothing seems to work in that regard. You do note that the other doors to this car, though there's only two, you can see boxes and crates in the back. One of them has been burst open by the sudden impact, and you can see somewhat shiny brass and gold jewel encrusted items sort of spilled out over.
She is immediately distracted by that, and she's just like, "Oh my goodness," and goes into the back and starts picking these bits out. And she's like, "Jack, you will never guess what this man is carrying in the back of his car," and starts. Are they heavy? Like, can she just?
Well, they're familiar to you, at least. They definitely look like some of the artifacts that you were pulling out of crypts in Egypt. Michael, what are you doing at this point? You have your car. What's going on with Michael right now?
I'm still neck and neck with the other cars, and I'm gonna pull up next to the driver of one of them, and I'm like, "All right, seriously, guys, you need to pull over. I'm gonna get in trouble with my job."
Oh gosh, their response is pretty simple. They are going to try to ram your car again. Your car has already taken a massive hit from like going into storage containers. So it's going to be both more difficult to avoid them, and if you take a massive hit, you will probably lose control of the automobile. So it's going to be a speed task. It's going to be, they're going to work together on this, so I'm going to up it to a 5.
All right. Let's roll speed and see what we get. 19.
Ooh, nice. So not only do you avoid that, but you manage to get some kind of interesting result from it. And remember, there's only one car left, and it's driven by Chet Manjaw, who you don't know the name of, but I feel like everyone should know Chet Manjaw's name.
Chet Manjaw. What a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, he's not working together, but he is frantic, so I'm gonna give him the boost for recklessness.
Okay.
But you get something good out of it. What's a minor effect that you want to happen from this? How do you evade it?
Oh, I want to say that when he comes into ram, I have a ward set up to bounce his kinetic energy back at him to kind of destabilize his driving. Okay,
sure. Yeah, his car tire begins like popping off at a weird angle at that point. And he leans out of the car and goes, "Mind your own business," and like starts losing.
I'm sorry. I didn't walk into your job and steal one of your priceless staplers, did I? And at that point, he's going to point a finger at him, and he's going to cast Onslaught.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an attack roll. All right, roll me an attack roll. It's going to be an intellect task, difficulty 4.
Right, so Vault 2? I'm going to spend a XP to reroll that. That doesn't sound right. Okay.
What'd you roll?
11.
11, not quite enough. And it's so high because you're still trying to keep up with him, and the swerving of his vehicle is giving him a lot of cover so that you can't quite pinpoint him. So it barely misses.
Okay.
At this point, he is going to flood his engine, and he's going to drive it directly off of the pier.
Bye. If you want to go swimming, go for it. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, all right. Better go in and get him.
Yeah, the vehicle jumps and lands in the water.
Son of a bitch. Okay. He stops the car. He gets out. He starts taking off of his suit, drops down his skivvies with his boxers, and like he's just in his undershirt and boxers, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to go in this.
Okay, so you can spend the next half an hour. You find that he is gone from the vehicle, but you find traces of like blood from like him hitting different things, and like but the windows rolled down, so he's escaped probably. But you also notice that there's no artifacts in this car, that they are elsewhere.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Meanwhile, we cut back to the 4 people covering their hands in priceless magical artifacts.
Like Felicity is probably holding it up, like sort of muttering herself, like gold, lapis lazuli, 80. Jack, I think this is 18th century, the 18th dynasty, you know.
Lucille leans over to Simon and goes, "Hey boys, is it just me or is it kind of weird? Both her and the fact that Chet wanted a bunch of items from the museum."
It's definitely on the strange side. Let's find out a little bit more about these two. I walks up to Felicity. Oh, my dear, I believe that you're mistaken. These weren't being transported. They were, in fact, being stolen. And he's trying to distract her, and so
Oh boy.
Yeah, so hold on, Felicity,
Okay.
as he's talking to you and as you're holding what appears to be like maybe it's like a few rings with gems, lapis lazuli in them, you start noticing that they are catching some sort of blue flame, and this blue flame begins engulfing your hand.
Oh,
And she's just like, oh my, is it supposed to do that?
this is why we don't touch things.
But Jack, help! Like,
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you at all, but it is odd.
is it like glowing or?
Yeah, it's
She's
glowing.
sort of trying to. She's holding on to, like, she puts the ring. If she puts the ring down, will the glow go away?
You put the ring down on the ground, and the glow remains.
Okay, and she's just sort of looking at her hand, waving it about a bit, and she's like, "How very strange!" And she's just looking at it, sort of poking her hand, and
Jack
not
is
really that fearful of it now, just sort of interested.
Jack is
Yeah.
by her side, like pretty much grabbing her wrist. Like, what the hell do you do? I mean, how are we gonna get it?
As you grab her wrist, you take 2 points of fire damage.
Oh! How do I take damage?
To might. Yep. You subtract it from your might.
Ah!
Current might energy.
The
What?
value or the pool
The value that you have. The pool is what you have to work with.
to work with. Okay, I just want to make sure I was on that. Okay.
Ah!
Isn't this intriguing? Oh, are you all right?
Intriguing. No, it's burning. That's what it is. It's burning right now.
No, I think it's fine actually. And she's
Jack,
still.
you find a cloth nearby that you can kind of wrap your hand with. It is encrusted with, or not encrusted, but it does have like weird symbols on it.
Yeah, Lucy goes, "Hey, look, boys, they got powers too."
I look at Felicity. So, this is new, dear.
Well, I don't think it's happened before. No, definitely new.
Jack, as you wrap your hand with that, you notice that your skin starts becoming cracked.
Okay.
That crack starts going up your arm.
He drops the cloth.
Can I use one of my ciphers here?
Yeah.
I see that's happening. It's the condition remover, so it cures one occurrence of a specific health condition. So how would
You've got like a bacteria sort of remover, so you can certainly attempt to use that.
Yeah, can I just attempt to see sort of, I will go over there with my non-glowing blue hand,
Sure.
take it down, and I'm sort of looking at it, probably more inquisitively than worried. I'm just like, this is extraordinary. I have never seen anything like this before. And would it, as I hold...
So you take the syringe and you like try to plug it into
I'm like, stay
his
still.
arm. Yeah, you try to plug it into his arm, and almost as if you're trying to like hold a piece of paper to a rock, it just breaks the tip of the syringe off as Jack's skin sort of takes on this rocky appearance. Jack, you will have +2 to your armor. And +5 against fire damage.
She sort of looks at the syringe that is broken and she goes, "Oh, well, would you look at that?"
How do I update? I'm looking for armor.
Armor is not actually in there. It's one of the weird things about the character sheet. So if you just make a note, maybe in your speed defense or your might defense, that'll work. Add it as a cipher, wherever you want to put it, that it will be clear to you.
So Simon, being mystical, has sense magic. It says you must study an object closely for a minute to get a feel of whether it's mystical or not. And so can I go over to the two of them and basically go, hold still for a moment. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this is more than what it seems. And go over there and just sort of start to study. Is the ring is still there, or did it like get absorbed? And like
the ring is still there. It's just on the ground. And as you do you want to touch it? Do you do anything with it except for you can sense it without having?
Yeah, I can sense without, and I think that now I'm kind of very wary, having my little bit of training back with the postman, not the postman, the newsboys, the newsmen. When I left my tutelage, I've got just enough to kind of not identify magic, but just sense that this is magical stuff. I wasn't a great studier in school.
Yeah. So yeah, you do sense a lot of magic coming off of this. These objects are cursed.
Well, I have good news and bad news.
What is it, boys?
Felicity is still just looking at her hand, not really looking at you, but just quite intrigued.
They don't seem to be harming you. That's the good news. The bad news is you're basically cursed. I don't think that those are going away anytime soon.
So many people have tried to curse me on our trip through Egypt. I'm sure this won't be too much of a problem.
Felicity, you said this is like 18th century, right? Does this match any of the curses that you
It's
found
the
from any of the tombs back
18th
then?
dynasty. It's okay. It's fine.
I mean, does this match anything?
So I actually look to Lucille and go, it's not necessarily all about, Lucille, dear, could you lend me a hand?
Oh, sure, boys. She like pops her hand off and like passes him to him.
Beautiful.
Felicity probably freaks a little bit, just like,
whoa!
Like just the look of just, well, I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that, are you?
Well, I can do it with this one too. And she pops this one off.
No, please stop. No.
Oh, no, hang on a
Put it
minute.
back on.
I thought that was just a stage trick. I thought that was some sort of camera trick or something.
No. And she goes, look, I can do it like this too. And like pops her head off, and passes that off to
Felicity
Stop.
passes out.
Ah, great.
So, Michael, you can come in at any time. By the way, if you want to be coming in while this lady is just like...
Yeah.
Michael comes up to the wrecked cars. He's dripping like wet. He's carrying his folded clothes under one arm. And he kind of looks down at all the artifacts and notices that Felicity's hand's on fire and Jack's slowly turning to stone. Oh, fuck. Who the hell are you?
I turn around, recognizing the voice, and go, Michael?
Oh, great. The dropout. Great. Just what I need. My lowest moment. And who's here? The dropout. Not only the dropout, but two normies who appear to have touched the ancient cursed artifacts. Now, one of them's on fire and the other one's turning to stone. Okay, so which one of you said it was a good idea to pick that thing up?
Well,
I point at the fainted Felicity.
Who is slowly just like,
She's probably going to die.
Well, I mean, that's true. That could be true, but I mean, she is in some sort of an expert. She spent a lot of time in Egypt, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you guys had an expert in supernatural and magics.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There's
Well,
no
here,
we.
let me pick up these artifacts, and you know what? You can find your way out of this mess. All right.
I mean,
I'm just gonna take this back to my job.
I start to come round, just sort of like pushing myself up. And just like, has the lady got her head back on now?
What do you mean the lady's got?
I would like to present an intrusion.
Oh.
of course you would.
Because a calamity like this, the amount of noise that you've made and the amount of noise that I made happen is going to alert the authorities to your presence. And this kind of presence, knowing that magic is real, having these people who are on fire turning to stone can pop off their limbs, survive car crashes without even a scratch. This is going to present some issues.
Okay, now I've been in the city 5 minutes. Okay, I'm turning to stone. I literally just signed a docket about 10 minutes ago. Well, okay, a couple of hours ago now, saying that I returned from Egypt with no curses. This is not going to look good for me.
No, it's gonna look great.
They do have that specific clause in customs too.
So, if you guys would please join me in the shipping container while we wait for these policemen to,
So the intrusion is if you take it, the police catch you. And everyone gets an XP and one to give to another person for this because I'm enacting it on the whole party. But you can each pay me an XP to avoid having this happen.
Oh. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Lucio goes, boss, quick, put my head on my body.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, quick, they can't catch us. Yeah, Lucille will definitely spend one.
I was gonna say, does everyone have an XP to pay?
Yeah, I'll look to Felicity, though, because Felicity, I know she's not going to want to go without them.
Go without what?
Go without what?
Isn't it pick up the artifact?
I would look at Michael and go.
I'm sort of coming round. I'm still quite phased out.
There's no worrying about picking up the artifacts or not. You can hide them easily.
Okay.
It's just when the cops show up is based out of when this intrusion might happen.
Yeah, no, I basically look at Michael and go, well, you've done such a bang-up job of doing your job there at the museum. Perhaps we should help you out.
Look, it's not my fault. I got lost in Chet's eyes. He has some amazing eyes. Those hazel eyes. They just pull you in.
Don't let him trick you. It's not his eyes.
I look down at the mess. I think we're past the part where he tricks me.
Well, yeah, you can say that until he tricks you.
I guess, yeah.
So I don't know about the lots of you, but the coppers are coming, and I cannot spend any more time behind bars. So I'm gonna go now, okay?
I'll scoop up Felicity and start running with Lucille.
Yeah, Lucille's like,
Yeah.
she's running, heels and all.
I'll look at Michael and go, just let's pick a crate, get these hidden, and get out of here.
Yeah. Let's just pick this crate right here. It's so close, and it's already tilted over, and nobody will ever check it.
You have a better idea?
Well, Michael still has a car. You can take people with you.
I still have my car that we could go. It only sits five though.
Oh, I fit in the trunk. And you watch Lucille just like crumble into body parts that can be collected and tossed in the trunk.
As long as we keep her head out so she can breathe.
Yeah, I can sit in the front seat eat with boss. You can just hold my head in the front seat, I guess.
So yeah, let's get the stuff in the car. We can go back to the stage. No one will be there till this evening.
I'm not
All right.
sure how I feel about running from the
Theater.
police with body parts in the trunk. I mean, but okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
I place a hand on Jack's shoulder, and I give him a smack across the face, and I'm going to erase memories. To erase the last 5 minutes, so he
Calm
calms down.
Oh, that's cool.
So where do I lose to?
Let's see. Let me look, because I have to make an intellect roll to cast it.
That's awesome.
Let me just see. It's 20.
I would say you would lose it prior to knowing that there was a body in the trunk.
Yeah, they'll just you
'Cause I
don't
can't
wanna
think-
lose it.
I can't honestly think of a specific time where you wouldn't be freaking out.
Erase memories. You reach into the mind of a creature within immediate range and make an intellect roll. On a success, you erase up to the last 5 minutes of its memory, and it's an action.
So yeah, you can just let this happen if you want. If you'd like to fight it, you're making a contested intellect roll versus his. If you have training in intellect defense tasks, you add 3.
I do not have 3, but
Okay,
I
so
guess
it's roll versus roll.
So yeah, 6 versus a 17.
Okay, so I just smack him. I'm like, get a hold of yourself. Shut up. Pick up these body parts and put them in my truck.
Yeah.
My car.
Somehow, like,
There's no
like,
trucks.
Your
Beautiful.
arm in her hand, and yeah, even better, help me with this leg. I basically
Careful! Careful!
so Jack will start double timing it, to and from the trunk, trying to put stuff in as quick as possible. Like,
Beautiful. You all, as long as you pay XP to not have the cops catch you,
Yep.
you all make it to the theater in time. What is the theater called, by the way?
Oh,
The sword and shield.
yes,
Sword and
the
Shield.
sword and shield.
The Sword and Shield. Okay.
The sword and shield. It's not in the great part of town. It's just it's a little theater that
Yeah.
might or might not have had some illusionary magic help pay for.
Yep. Yeah, it's upkeep. We
Beautiful.
probably we've converted the green room to our secret hideout.
Yeah. There's at least like one bellhop in there, usher in there who like is in on the secret and helps you out likely.
Yeah,
It's-
good old Lenny.
Yeah. Lenny greets you as you come in and like sees the new people and he goes, "Oh, are these new acts?"
Yes, new acts.
Hello. And Felicity just walks straight past him.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, I'll make sure you have your privacy, and they
Thanks, Lenny, always.
move you to it in your green room. So you're left with an interesting sort of dilemma: how to maybe fix this. There's like plenty of coffee or tea or whatever you need in there. Try to calm your nerves, but it becomes increasingly apparent that the flame on your hand it starts to respond to you a little bit. It goes
Okay.
away when you want it to, comes out when you want it to, and you have some gentle manipulation of it. Meanwhile, the rock encrusted on your skin isn't going away. It actually seems to be growing little by little.
do you
I
think
sort of pull out one of my leather gloves and just quickly put it over the top of my glove and see how it feels. I'm assuming it doesn't burn through it, or
It doesn't know.
okay.
Felicity, do you think this will cover my whole body?
I think we'll just have to see, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna turn you to stone. You're gonna be like a walking Ubshapti sandstone statue.
I mean, is this like leprosy or something like that?
Something like that.
He's gonna take
You you touched the one of the artifacts of the sand god. It was cursed. You're turning to sand, stone,
Oh.
but still,
so like,
you're gonna crumble. You're gonna die.
Well, is he really though?
I mean,
wouldn't you want to die if you nothing but sandstone?
Michael's always been a pessimist.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, you know that I also was touched with the cursed item when they chopped me in half in front of all those people and dumped me in the alleyway. And look, I turned out just fine.
Yeah, no. And he goes over and he pulls off a pinky. Yeah, no, you're just perfectly fine.
I need that. Like, plunks it back on.
I sort of lean into Jack, just almost like I'm like, he's quite negative, this one. It's a bit rude, really.
A little bit negative, Felicity. I mean, I'd lose the arm, but this is my shooting arm.
Oh, it'll be fine. Stop fussing. And
soon it'll be a beaten arm.
So, I have a question there, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
You're all in the know with these artifacts and stuff. Why, in fact, would Chet Manjaw be interested in taking these kinds of artifacts? He's just a lowly mafia boss.
Oh, you could sell these to somebody who doesn't know, shit about shit, and you can get good wad of cash for it.
Oh, so he just didn't know what he had.
Nope, he didn't know what he had.
Well, that sounds just like Chet. Never knowing what he has.
You said you mentioned that you weren't able to find him after his crash. I've got a horrible thought.
Yeah, no,
Chet.
Well, share, because I don't have any thoughts.
Chet has always been, for the muscle. Basically, the basic labor. What is the odds that he's touched every single one of these?
We need to get those artifacts back, and we need to kill Chet immediately. Absolutely.
Are you saying that Chet has all the powers?
Chet.
I don't know what he might have touched or not touched.
What?
Oh, I know what he didn't touch.
If he touched all the artifacts, he's a walking nuclear bomb. You're walking
magical bomb,
arcane bomb.
But Michael,
going through Silver City.
If he touches the same one as me, when he crumble too, though, then we'll be okay, right? He'll just die, right?
Well, there's the ones who the god of death, the sun god, scorpion god, scarab god.
So who is Chet? Last time I checked, Chet was simply working for one of those other big mob bosses.
Maybe he wants to go in for himself.
Well, I just look to Lucille and go, right place, wrong time. You were just a waitress, and now look at you. Well, and now we have Felicity and Jack, who, Felicity and Jack, who seem to be a part of this as well. So,
what? We're just gonna go track him down? We don't even know where he is.
I think it's our responsibility now, yeah?
Oh, all right. I thought I was done with him.
Because if he figures out how to use this stuff, we're all gonna die.
Yeah. Can I try to be the optimist to Michael's pessimism? To go
always
see what's going on with Jack, and two things, because it's Simon, how he can work it into the act, or just see if this guy's gonna turn into a statue that I'm gonna have to get rid of.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what would I mean.
So you've got you've got magical lore training, so you might be able to dig deep and come out with something. Maybe even though you dropped out of that, what is it called? I'm sorry.
The mailman.
I've got it somewhere. News Guild, yeah. You've got some training with the News Guild, and it's possible that you have some books, especially in your secret green room, that you can defer to for some knowledge on it.
Yeah, so between Skilled in Numenera and Sense Magic, can I try to see what's going on with...
Yeah, when all is said and done, it's going to be a difficulty 4 check.
Difficulty 4 check.
Mm-hmm. That's mostly because I'm factoring in, like, it's been a while. You might not have all the books that you need. This is more of a luck thing than anything else.
Yep. So can I spend from my intellect pool to bring that down?
Yes, you can.
So I have an edge, so that means I have to spend 2, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So to use an effort, I don't have any assets, and you said it's a 4?
Mm-hmm. You bring it down to a 3 when you do that.
So let's give it a roll. That is a failure. I rolled a 3. So
yeah, you attempt to search, but your specific interests never really branched into the sort of artifacts that you need. You kind of just learned to make money.
Yeah. So then I go about this a different way, and this is if you're willing, Jack. I've still got 3 points of kinetic energy built up that I can release. And I look to Jack and go, this is going to be really bad, or we're going to learn something.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to try to blow your arm off.
What? Like,
This is always
Okay.
fun. Everybody just stand back, give him some space.
Hang on a minute, Lucille, Simon. Simon, I think you've been hanging around Lucille too much. You see, my limbs, they don't just pop on and off, you know? Like, this isn't going to go too well.
this is rather drastic. I have
Don't worry, he says, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, basically the way Lucille always sets things up, she begins to like pull people to the side. She sets Jack up on one side. She pushes his arm out. She like shows it to him.
Hey.
All right, Simon Wall, set up. Ready when you are, boys.
I go over to a decanter and I start pouring myself a tall glass.
Unfortunately, Michael has seen Simon's successes and failures in doing things like this. I'm going to. It's up to you, Jack. But it's either that or living with not knowing whether or not you're going to.
I'll tell you what. Just
a pile of dust.
Just give me like a 2-minute rain check on that, okay? Because let's just have a look. Maybe not the whole arm, and he'll just pull out his survival knife and just like maybe just like I assume it's like scaly. Like I've got movement, right? So it's like all scale.
Yeah, you've got movement. It's like tree bark almost in appearance.
God.
So I'll just try and like chip off a scale and see what it looks like underneath.
like,
So you,
Felicity just
you-
covers her eyes.
Yeah, you attempt to, and it seems about as hard as the knife is. Your knife isn't cutting through it. You can try with a lot of effort to do so, and like chisel a little bit off with some difficulty. But for the most part, it seems like you have been growing armor on your skin.
Okay, Simon, I'll tell you what, just give it a go. But I'll tell you what, not the whole arm. Let's just do like a finger.
Oh, we can do that. I'm okay.
Not my trigger finger.
I was
Totally
gonna
can
say.
keep my focus down to just one finger. He can't keep it focused to one finger.
No, but Lucille
Wait.
Lucille goes,
Yeah, one finger.
and make sure his arms like nice and extended.
We've got to keep it straight for the boss. And she walks over and she says, You can't hit just one finger, can you?
No, I really.
Wait. Yeah.
That's all right.
One of these
Do
three.
you do you have a nail?
A nail?
Like a hanging nail or a driving nail.
Oh. Like for a hammer?
Yes, get the nails we use for the act. I've got some big like show nails, like they look like I'm driving them into her, but of course her hand has been removed and everything, so it doesn't actually go through. So yeah, I can come up with like a big nasty looking like a show nail. I mean, it's metal though.
I take the nail and I kind of hold it over Jack's hand. Now, Lucille, since you can lose your body parts, I need you to hold this.
Oh, okie dokie.
And she like pops the arm off.
No, like just normally. You don't really have to. Okay, I mean, I guess if you want to do the double arm thing, and I place it on one of Jack's finger, just send the kinetic energy through the nail and use it as as kind of like a lightning rod.
Oh.
Ooh, I don't think it works that way. That's
Depends on how well the roll is.
Oh well, so no, like I look at Lucille and I give her a wink and like, absolutely, that's how we'll do it.
Of course. He'll send that energy right through that nail. Don't you worry about it. Everybody stand back. Give it some space.
So just one of
He
these
looks
three.
at Jack.
Okay? One of these three. Preferably the little one. I don't use that one much.
So yeah, holding the pinky, holding the nail on the pinky.
Super funny.
Michael looks at Jack. The worst thing that happens is you become the new Jesus.
What does that even mean?
That's excellent timing. As soon as he says that, just poofs through. You had 3 points of kinetic energy saved up.
Yep.
So only 1 point of that damage goes through. You can still feel it, Jack. And it's essentially like slamming your hand in a car door. For example, it's not enough to break it. It's just like a huge pinch. But that might be good. You still have feeling underneath.
Well,
But
what
it
it
doesn't
feel
remove
like?
it. So
Ah, mother of... It hurt like hell.
Well,
Yeah, but you still got your limb. Most of the time, it just blows them right to bits.
This is part of your act?
Oh no, this is part of our act, and she falls into a bunch of pieces again.
I look to Jack and go, so, kind of smarted, yes?
You could say that. I mean, if it wasn't
That
covered in
was-
stone, I guess it'd be red and throbbing.
Well,
yeah, you just took
that
all of the
was-
energy of falling off of a car going 40 miles an hour to one finger.
yes, that was actually, well, exactly that. It was basically the equivalent of you being hit by a car at 40 miles per hour, and that's all you felt.
And this is still growing, right?
So that's
It's
a
slow.
good thing, yes?
Give me 2 minutes, and he's just gonna turn around. He's gonna take his gun and drop the bullets out, and just practice drawing and firing the trigger to make sure it's not impeded. Like,
It's your fingers are a little bit thicker because of where the skin is growing out. So you might have to get a larger gun size for it. So
Looks
Well,
like
well,
somebody needs a
Take
bigger
the trigger
pistol.
gun.
it's not the size; it's how you
trigger
use it.
No, that's what they tell you to make you feel better about yourself.
but
That's
let's
what I tell men to make them feel better about themselves.
with this new knowledge, you all try kind of play around with what these new abilities can give your newfound friends. Felicity, you find that you have a small amount of control over this, and also fires in the room. You can modulate them to a small extent, especially in like lanterns and stuff. You can
I was gonna
extinguish
say,
them
did
as
you
at
just
will.
go about, like, take the glove off and touch things and see?
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
well,
gaslight,
it like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like gaslight. So you can touch things, catch them on fire. You can extinguish them, and you find that you can do this from a distance as well. And then you have some control over them. And working with it a little bit with some difficulty, you find that you can change the shape of them. It's pyromancy to an extent. You're not quite able to throw it yet. You can try several times, but to no avail. But you can stretch it.
She's pretty lost in it. I'm assuming she's found a lamp somewhere, and she sort of sat down next to it, and she's just playing because
Yeah, she's just like writing
so
her
absorbed in what
signature
it
in the
is.
fire, that kind of thing.
Simon just sees dollar signs. Cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like
Yeah.
he's got images of fire snakes coming out of the gas lights across the theater. Big, oh yeah. He's just like, I'm not keep like elbowing Lucille. Do you see that? Do you see that?
I
We can
see
work
it.
that into
You know,
scene
but-
3. Scene
Oh,
3, Act
oh,
2.
that's
Wouldn't
such a
that be
great
beautiful?
idea. Yes, yes. And I could come tumbling it across the stage.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Big lights, boss.
I wonder if she can write. Do you think she can write in the fire?
there's
She's
no
just-
chill between and Michael is just like slowly growing angry.
Can I like pick up the fire out of the gaslight? Is that a possible thing?
Yes, you can pick up other fire. It's different than the color that your fire is, but eventually gets consumed by your own blue flame.
If I put it in my other hand, will it hurt my other hand?
No, actually, you can.
Yeah, I was going to say, she sits there and she just starts flipping the fire between.
Oh, boss, she
two
can
hands.
juggle fire.
Say,
Oh,
Felicity, that's pretty cool. Is it just your hands?
And she sort of just said, well, what else would I use?
I don't know. What about your
My feet.
arm? Your feet?
oh, there's so many parts
Make
of the
your eyes
body
see.
you can use. I mean, You got your legs. You got your stomach. You got your head.
Lucille starts like showing off different ways of like bending and contorting the body.
I'm quite happy doing this at the moment. As she's like bouncing this like flame. It's so pretty and intriguing.
Oh yeah, it's really pretty. Yeah, cursed flame from a cursed artifact. You know.
Michael,
She doesn't understand your sarcasm. She's like, I know.
You're probably gonna set everything on fire with an eternal flame that can never go out unless you have a specific magical artifact that Chet has.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm careful.
Yeah,
Keeps going.
you see Lucille's body shiver. She goes,
Oh yeah, Chet. I forgot. It's all his fault.
Yeah.
All of this has to do with him. You know, I have to say, I kind of forgot about him, but I'm still a bit concerned. It's not good that Chet has all these powers. He's a bad man.
I think we.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I expectantly look to Jack, seeing as Felicity has taken to her powers so well, and I'm just sort of sitting there, like tapping my foot, waiting for Jack to figure out how I can monetize Jack.
I mean, so like Jackal, it's spreading across his whole body, right? Like up his arm.
Yeah, it's very slow. You're essentially turning into the thing.
I mean, I don't know how I can use this. I mean, I'm quick. That's my thing, you know.
Well, it
Quick
looks
draw,
to
you know?
me like now you're you're kind of indestructible. You got the shield.
I go, follow me. I go out to where there's sort of an old storage room with a brick wall. We've been wanting to expand this room. You say you're fast. Can you get a running start and just sort of lean into it with that arm and shoulder? Go right
Yeah,
through it.
You want me
knock
to
the walls out.
run through a brick wall?
We do.
The human wrecking ball.
Oh,
We'll put you on the mark.
I like it.
Putting him on the mark. No. We gotta keep this quiet.
Michael, come on, it's your chance to finally join the act.
You know you.
I
want
learned
that.
magic to help people. You learned magic to monetize.
I
These people have nothing to do with magical artifacts, and
Oh.
now they're cursed.
Hang on, I don't have anything to do, but Felicity, I told you, she knows her shit.
She's very smart.
She's like, Felicity has stood up and sort of walked over to Michael still, and she's like, so your main job is to look after those?
My main job is to protect the normies from realizing that there are actual cursed magical items in the world.
Well,
And how did they get past you?
Like I said, Chet has these beautiful eyes that just draw you in.
they're not that beautiful.
Beautiful eyes.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's swagger.
You keep talking
Swagger,
about his
Jack,
eyes,
what
could
is
you-
swagger?
It might be swagger. So yeah, if you'd like to try to do a human wrecking ball type thing,
Yeah, I'll just run at the wall. While they're arguing, I think, when they've sort of like
Yeah.
stopped paying attention, I'll just bomb it at it.
yeah, you try without really needing to roll for it. You've got a lot of time to play with this. Definitely not a brick wall. You're not strong. You're still working within your human purview. But through like wood, you crash straight through.
I
Eh.
assume that makes some noise. Do we-
Goodness. Like, Felicity's just watching.
Yeah,
it happen.
yeah.
So what happens when I run into the brick wall? Do I just like bounce off it? Sort of?
You bounce off. It's still like it doesn't hurt quite so much, but you feel the impact of it.
Okay, so
But you
maybe
got
he's
about
not
the same hardness as brick.
Okay, so maybe he's not ready for brick boss. We can start him out just breaking wood on stage.
Hey, think of where we started with you, so yeah.
That's true. And
Wood painted to look like brick. So here's the deal. There's been some interest in sort of finding Chet and
Yes.
figuring out what he's
We
doing.
actually have a
with these
mission.
items.
yeah,
You're just playing like, oh.
Yeah, no. It's like that's an important thing about manifesting powers is playing with them. So
Yeah,
I didn't want to rob you of playing with your powers, but as far as trying to hunt down Jack goes, a lot of you have different resources that you're able to use. You know that they were stolen from the library, which Felicity and Jack have access to. He had to have, or sorry, not the library, the museum. You know that he had to have some sort of access to the News Guild as well, which Michael can take care of. And Simon and Lucille are very well known and able to get themselves into high-class places.
Right. And I feel like Lucille would know where he hangs out.
Yeah, you would. You would
know,
have
like,
that sort
his
of
inner
in
workings.
his friends, people who he was avoiding, that he may have owed money to, people who are close to him. So over the next, it's going to take about 5 days in total, maybe. Please describe to me what you do to try to find him. We'll skip forward a bit because, like, it's a big city. There's tracking to be done. A couple of you are new in town and might want to at least, enjoy a little bit of the sightseeing before you go completely mutant.
Yeah.
Michael would take them directly to the editor.
Ooh, okay. So the editor is an older woman in her late 70s. She's got a very tightly pulled back, no nonsense braid, and she's got like her desk is stacked with newspaper articles and magical wards drawn into the actual desk and the walls itself. Other than that, her office is very pristine. And when you enter, she looks at you, doesn't quite recognize you immediately, but knows that you're supposed to be there.
Madam, let me preface, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But we got two normies who decided to pick up ancient cursed magical objects. One can now set herself on fire, and the other one is turning into sandstone.
She tells you, well, that appears to be the least of our worries, and she is going to hand over a newspaper at you, and it has a picture of it, a black and white photo of a building downtown, possibly a bank, and there is sand flooding out of it. Somebody calling himself Sandstorm. You know anything about that?
No. Nope. It probably is definitely not Chet Manjaw, who stole a bunch of artifacts from the museum last night using his mesmerizing hazel eyes and his quiff. His coif. It's just so flowing. All right, anyways.
I want to intrude on you. I really do. I want to create an intrusion for you. You can take it or no.
What's the intrusion?
That maybe you find yourself falling in love with Chet Manjaw, or at least like the idea of him because of his eyes. They're so like encapsulating. Perhaps even he touched an item that caused him to become very alluring. So even if it's not like a sexual attraction, you're still like kind of in love with him in a bromance kind of way.
I'll take that.
All right, so it's going to make tasks to sort of like fight him or dismiss him harder for you, but that's about it. So yeah, we're going to give you the condition love struck.
Yeah, Lucille will continue.
He's just tricking you, Michael. I'm telling you, he's not special.
He would never strike me. He loves me.
He said that to me till he chopped me up on stage in front of everybody.
Yeah, so definitely take that XP and give one to somebody else.
I'll give it to Lucille.
Thanks, Michael. Not to crush your heart or nothing, but just.
But yeah, now you know that there are more artifacts going around. Somebody calling themselves Sandstorm, who flooded some sort of building downtown, most likely a bank, probably the First National Bank of Silver City.
Oh.
So how do we remove these curses?
The editor tells you that she's going to need the rest of the items, that these pieces are to a set, and the ones that you have brought her, there's some of them, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm. Are the rest of them at the museum?
They were, until they were stolen. There's another newspaper article, and this one was actually from the day prior. It happened overnight. Somebody lifted many artifacts from the museum, a lot of which were thought to be just like random stones that they had found there. But this was the safest place. The editor surely thought that by hiding them in plain sight, they could hide them efficiently. But apparently
That wasn't me
not the case.
working. That was Tom. That was all Tom's fault.
It was Tom, and Tom is in detention right now.
Oh
Tom.
no, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Tom, you had one job, Tom.
He's
Tom
getting his
literally
mind
only
flayed.
had one job, and it was to not let people into the museum overnight.
Well, Tom. Okay, so just to shed some light on this subject, Chet was my ex-boyfriend, and he wasn't so happy with me when he killed me. But he still kind of lusts after me, always wanting to be with me and stuff. So I thought what I could do is write a little letter and see if I can't trick Chet into meeting up, for drinks or something at the club. And then the rest of you could be there and we could, get the drop on.
Can I just clarify something for a second? Did you say he killed you?
Oh yeah, for sure. He chopped me up with this sword, and then he put me in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Don't think too hard on it. Just let it be what it is.
It
I'm
was-
a better woman because of it. And if I wasn't, dead in the alleyway, Simon here would never have found me. Thanks, boss.
Like Felicity takes her hand and just says, "Just wanted to say, for a dead person, you look absolutely fantastic."
Oh my goodness, thanks, Felicity. I try. I mean, I'm not so dead anymore, but it took a while to get used to.
Yeah, it takes a while to get the rigor mortis out of the joints.
It does. So yeah, you wanna deliver a letter that will come to him?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Lucille would just write a letter and have it like quick delivered to him. I don't know if the newspaper can do that, but that's like it says,
Dear Chet, my dearest Chet.
Let's put you in a weird situation
Oh,
then.
God.
You can write to invite him out for drinks with his man crush Michael. So let's put you in a weird situation. Can I intrude?
Oh, sure.
So the newspaper can't really get to them. They're not really sure what his connection with the News Guild is quite yet. But you are aware of several of his acquaintances. You know where he keeps an abode in town. And when you go to deliver the letter, somebody's home in this apartment, and it's a woman who looks surprisingly like you.
Oh, hi, sugar. I was hoping to speak with Chet. Is he home?
Oh, Chet's not home. He hasn't been home for days, she says. She sounds exactly like you. She looks like you. She has a ring on her finger.
oh God, okay.
Even worse, she looks like she's being well taken care of.
Is that so?
And let me give you an XP for this, because this is a really bad situation. This is an intrusion for you, and go ahead and give 1 XP to somebody else.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna give it to the other lady in the group. Felicity's gonna get some XP. Why not? This seems like it's just gonna become a woman thing.
Oh, so Chet's not home. Surprise, surprise.
Oh no, he's usually home every night. This is a weird occurrence for him.
Right.
How do you know him anyway?
Oh, just old friends, acquaintances.
Oh, he has so many friends, doesn't he?
He
Come
just
on in.
Oh, okay.
and she kind of like follows her in the door, kind of seething at like the ring and situation. She goes,
So, Chet, just, I guess he's taking care of you pretty well. That ring on your finger. It seems like it was a pretty penny.
Oh, it was. We got married in June last year.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It was July. I'm sorry. It was July. Silly me.
A summer wedding. How quaint.
Yeah, it was nice. It was small because I wanted small. And then she goes to the cabinet. She starts prepping you. Do you want some coffee?
Oh, I would just just love a cup of coffee.
She pours
So
you a cup of coffee.
Chet, we've not seen each other in a little while. What's he been up to,
Oh, he's always doing business with people, business with this guy, business with that guy,
Oh, so much businesses. I know.
Yeah, I got invited to John Leone's house.
Oh, he's still doing work with old Don Leo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he is.
And his
Don's just the nicest guy.
Oh, just so nice when he's strangling women.
She says under her breath.
She says, Dawn, is he still got that big old, apartment and a bar over there off the corner of 3rd Street?
Well, if you've been living under a rock, of course he does. And she's gonna, do you want 1 sugar or 2?
Oh, 2 sugar.
You got it.
And I was just, I was hoping maybe to, hook myself a man. Look how well you're doing. Chet, he's got other friends, and before I get out of my prime, I was kind of hoping to get in on some of that really nice man action.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, I was hoping, to maybe sneak in on a party so I could woo myself a man, like you did with Chet.
She looks at your ringless finger, and then she looks at you, and she goes, I've always wanted to do a makeover for somebody. Come on. And she's gonna show you her room. If you want to, you can try to persuade her to give you her invitation to Don Leone's party.
Yes, that I would like to do that.
Oh, it's just so kind.
Or you can try to steal it quietly from her.
Did she show me where it's at?
Yeah, she showed you. It's like on the counter. She's so excited about it. She's been telling everyone, and she looks exactly like you too. So
that's great. So what I'm gonna do is go with her for makeover time, and when she's distracted doing hair and makeup and stuff, I'm gonna pop a hand off and let the hand to the kitchen to grab the to grab the invitation, and then I'm gonna let the hand take it straight back to Simon. I'm not gonna have it. Yeah, and then I'll deal with her handless, I guess, later.
Simon, are you here as well?
I don't think so. I mean, I think.
No, I'm gonna send it back across the city.
No, I know. It's just scratching at the door. If you want, though, you can it's not a huge deal. You could probably oh, it's so hot in here. Can you open a window? And she does.
Yeah. It's I'm just perspiring, so I don't want to mess up this beautiful makeup. Do you think you could crack a window?
Yeah, she does so.
I would think that just Simon in general would not have let her go alone somewhere. So I don't think I probably went up to the apartment, but I would have thought that I would have been sort of down on a street corner or across the street in case she needed help.
Yeah, you're underneath the fire escape, and you see this sort of piece of paper hanging off of that railing, and then this hand just making this motion like it's gonna jump.
Yeah. I'm like, that Lucille, what a woman.
And then you high five the hand.
Yeah, and I suspect about 10 minutes later, you probably hear the other woman scream when she realizes that I'm missing a hand.
In that case, I'd probably send it back up. If you want to.
Oh, you send it back up after you get the
or whatever.
Brilliant. Pop my hand on you. Oh, it hits my arm.
Well, I really appreciate your time, but and the makeup and the hair and the staring at your ring and all that. But I really do need to go. I was hoping, if I see you around, you could put in a good word for me with one of Chet's friends.
She says she can. What is your name?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm Lucy. I'm not Lucille. I'm Lucy Ball. Lucy Ball.
Lucy Ball. Okay. She knows that name to give to people, and it's
great. All right. Well, yeah, just do let Chet know I dropped by. All right. Okay. Bye.
Okay. All right, Sugar, you look so great now. And then as you walk down the hallway, she goes, "Oh, where'd it go?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Lucille like speeds up, and, like dips around the corner, and out to the street to meet Simon.
Yep. Michael, let's cut back to the news guild real quick. There's like some folks around a table. They're drinking coffee and like writing on their typewriters recent stories. And one of them leans over and says, "Did you tell them they were going to die? Because they're going to die."
Oh no! Don't trust me. I told them they was going to die. I mean, this one has maybe a day or two before the sandstone kind of creeps over to its chest, which will turn the heart to chest, which will slow the pumping and completely stop it. And we all know, without necromancy, you can't live without your heart pumping.
It's true.
It's
You
true.
can't. He's gonna die. They're all gonna die. They're all gonna turn to
They're
fire.
gonna die.
So-
She's gonna set herself on fire, but it's not gonna be her fire. It's all right. She's gonna be okay. But he's gonna die.
Beautiful. And let's actually, we're going to cut to Jack Clegg and Felicity Cooper. Let's take a 5-minute break, though, so that we can all be humans
Yeah, sure.
for just a second. Seeing as we're already vacated from 2 people. So.
Yeah.
I am who man.
Too much coffee.
Too
Same
much
here.
coffee.
Yep. But yeah, need a 5-minute break.
Yeah, sure. So, there we go. You guys are offline for a second. I can't hear you though. Because I've left the jazz playing in the background, but I can't hear a word you guys are saying.
Beautiful.
I got no rhythm to dance, so I can't dance.
You're
no.
actually Michael. That's what Michael would say.
We are live again. We are live.
Well, Michael is the person who stands in the corner and makes illusions dance for him. It takes quite a bit to make the magic happen.
We are live.
Oh, good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. If you're just joining us or you came in late, we are playing Cypher System in a game called The Rise of the Metahumans. These people, a couple of them, Jack Clegg, played by Straticus, and Felicity Cooper, played by White Rabbit, they have just accumulated powers and come to find that the rest of these three, Mismemberment, Michael Roth, and Simon Sinclair, have really had these things, nothing new to them, and have been faced with sort of a dilemma. They aren't the only people in this city called Silver City with powers. And speaking of which, we join an investigation at this point with Jack Clegg and Felicity Cooper at the museum. What is this museum called, by the way? Is it natural history? Is it anthro?
I'd probably say natural history.
Natural history.
The Museum of Magical Artifacts.
The museum. That's what it's
Just
called.
a
It's
small
like
print underneath.
The Silver City Museum.
Silver City Museum. Beautiful. I like it. Simple, chic, elegant. At the Silver City Museum, there's still police lines over, but because you were part of the original excursion, you're easily enough able to make it in. So starting with your exhibit that would have been, you take a look around, you find that it's fairly clear of the things that you thought were like unimportant. The big things are the ones that actually remain. The stuff that you thought was like historically relevant and important were apparently not the things that were full of magic. But there's still scrolls and the like left, still pieces of rock. And as you explore, make me an intellect-based perception check.
Okay.
Note things that you might not otherwise note.
Oh dear.
Intelligence based?
Yes, we're actually just on Clegg and Cooper right now,
Mhm.
but you all can be sort of going there as well after visiting wherever you were, because the museum is fairly important too.
Was it a straight up intellect?
If you have training and perception, you add 3. If you do not, -3 from that roll.
Okay.
Cool.
Don't think I do.
I do not have training.
So,
Yeah, I got a 2, which is not great.
Beautiful.
I don't think I did I -3? I don't think I did.
You don't have to -3 if you have no inability
Cool.
to it.
So that's just a straight 14, beats difficulty 4.
So Felicity, it makes sense. You're
I got distracted.
You're distracted. You're hyper focused on the little things, the little details. Like, why didn't they take this? What is not important about this? Trying to negatively approach the situation. Meanwhile, Jack, you notice that there is like grains. There are grains in the ground that lead out of this exhibit, and upon checking them, it looks like these are in the floor, so to speak. This is something that the police missed, and you're not quite sure how you managed to catch it. Perhaps it's because it's the same color as your hand is turning right now. But as you run your hand along it, it looks like footprints, and they are in the actual stone of the floor itself and leaving grains of sand, the same color as your hand.
Where do they lead?
They lead out of this exhibit and down the hallway, if you would like to pursue them.
Where did they come from?
Good question. It looks like they start here. Like against one of the exhibits. It's hard to tell what existed there now, but it looks like if you pull over Felicity, she can translate it for you.
Yeah. Say, Felicity, come here, look. There's footsteps. It's like the sand stuff, just like my hand. Look, see?
What? She sort of wants over and let me have a look. And she bends down and she picks up some of the.
You try to, but it's like ingrained into
so it's literally
the ground. And when you look at the actual plaque itself, you translate the picture of it, because they had like a black and white picture and then the actual artifact itself. And it looks like it says the god of rust.
Interesting. And then she sort of looks at Jack and she's like, well, we better follow it then, hadn't we? Come on. And she hurries off in the direction. She's very eager to find out where this goes.
Okay. So when you follow it, it leads out of this exhibit into what looks to be a closed service hallway. It's not locked. In fact, the door handle seems to be missing.
Is there like a keyhole or anything?
No, it's just a hole.
Yeah.
And when you push it, it swings open. It's darker in here now, as if the lights have gone out. When you reach over to pull anything, usually they have like pull string lights. You reach up, you're not finding anything to pull.
Now, did we say I could summon fire effectively? I could do that.
Yep.
Okay, so I sort of light up my hand and start looking around and not really thinking, just like, hello.
Yeah, when you pull off your glove and summon up the flame, you see once again footsteps leading down this service hallway into what appears to be a series of staircases leading both up and down. And when you look up, you do see that the lights are there. They're all intact, but the string that you were reaching for to pull appears to not be there. In fact, it's a metal cord that has been shortened.
I think she'll probably look at it, just sort of think, doesn't think much of it really, and just keeps on going. She wants to know where this trail is going.
Of course. So when you get to the stairway, you see that these footsteps, as they hit the the metal stairway, they appear to go down, and the middle of these stairs dip where the footprints have hit, corroding.
Okay. Jack, what do you make of this? This is probably more your expertise. I don't normally. Well,
I don't deal with rust. I deal with dust.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the same color as my hand here, so the footprints, they look the same color as my hand, so maybe it's something to do with that artifact that I touched, but other than that, I don't know.
So does like the trail stop here?
It keeps going down, but the staircases, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You have to slow down if you continue down them, mostly because they are bending. They've been broken where these footprints.
I've been in worse in like Egypt, so she sort of takes off her heeled boots and just proceeds to go down barefoot.
Awesome. So when you get to the bottom of the staircase and open up, you find yourself in sort of a boiler room in the basement of the museum itself. And in it, you hear groaning, not from the boiler, but from something that sounds almost like human, with some sort of bee hive sound beneath, groaning.
Again, she's just like,
pain.
Hello?
What is that?
And she sort of like, did you say from underneath us or just in the room?
Just in the room. And this room is about 20 by 40 feet. It's still dark, but with your hands, you can brighten it up a bit.
I was going to say, can I just make it the flame a bit bigger to light up the room? And I start looking.
Yeah, you do that.
The corners and anything behind boxes.
There's a bunch of shadows cast, and in these shadows, you see the shape of a human. Although this person in general, much like the affliction that Jack has summoned up, this one is a little bit more mottled looking, as though they are crumbling away before they come to form. Very mummified looking. and their hand drags against the metal walls of this boiler room, and following with it, this trailing sort of emergence of rust following it. And there's more groaning, not coming from him, but from the walls as this rust makes it buckle beneath the weight of what would be load-bearing pillars in this room, threatening the boiler.
Yeah, Felicity sort of steps back a little bit. She's like,
Step back a bit, Felicity. We need to get out of here. This thing could go any minute.
Yes, okay, hang on. Now, I'm sure you're not feeling your full self at the moment. If you would mind not touching the walls, that would be fantastic. And who are you? And what are you doing in the museum?
The figure stares at you. Its eyes are gold, shining off the blue light. You can see rings of what would be normal iron deposits in people with that specific mutation, now formed into a cone sticking out. Most the Roger Rabbit cartoon when the judge it looks like that. His eyes are pointed out of his skull, and he looks at you. His mouth hangs open wide, and he says, "Hungry."
Okay, well,
they left me.
Well,
and
first of all, don't stare. It's rude. But I'm sure we could get you something to eat if we just maybe, again, like I said, stop touching the walls. Maybe you could come with us.
He sees the blue light on your hand and starts reaching out for it. And when he tries to, it becomes incredibly apparent to you that he is not touching the wall out of attempting to cause this. He is trying to stabilize himself because his legs are unable to do that for him. And as he comes toward you, his hand juts into the wall, and the surrounding area of his hand begins stretching out, and it starts buckling.
Okay, now, buddy.
The ceiling drops a little bit on that side. Everyone make a speed defense roll. So difficulty for this one is going to be 3.
Is that just like a normal speed roll?
Yeah,
15.
Unless you have speed defense tasks, in which you will take it down to 1. So yeah, Felicity, you see this coming from a mile away, and you back away from the wall as these metal beams just buckle and fall to that side.
Okay, I'm Jack, I don't know about you, but I'd rather like to go now.
I'm gonna spend an XP to re-roll that.
Ooh, okay.
I've got thingy as well. I've got the speed defense thingy that you said.
What you get?
I got a 9.
Oh, that's good enough. Yeah, you back up away from this. It's not only the pillars falling, but afterward, this hot steam that's been coming through these boilers breaks out of the pipes and starts filling the room. You manage to avoid all of this. You judge it to yourselves quietly. You probably have maybe one thing you can do in this room before having to book it. Or you can attempt to help this guy, but that requires passing through the steam.
I think Jack would risk it. He'd probably lift his arm in front of him and jump through the steam the same way as the wood, try and grab him and get out of there.
Okay. Now you find that with your arm, you're not going to take as much of a penalty to walking through steam. And in fact, you're going to get a +5 to your roll. Your speed roll to be able to do that. And then I need a might check. So you're going to make 2 successive checks in order to be able to do this. The first one to pass through the steam, usually rather difficult, of 15, but in this case, you just need to roll a 10 or higher.
I got an 8. I could add some effort to that though, couldn't I?
Yeah, go ahead.
How much do I need to add for a point?
3, unless you have a speed edge, and then you only add 2.
So I do have the speed edge. So I'll add 4 then to make that a 10, right?
Yep, that's good. Yep, you managed to go through, and then you have to roll me a might check to try to grab him.
I'm gonna grab him with my crusty hand as well.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, and what did you roll?
A 6.
That's actually good enough. So you grab him with your crusty hand and attempt to throw him over your shoulder, and he starts like kind of crumbling in your arms as you're doing so, and the room begins to buckle more. Let's make rolls to get out of here.
Yeah, I would say Felicity is that she's not in a dress anymore. She's realized after certain things she's in like just trousers and a smart jacket and suit, so that she doesn't have to run anywhere anymore. But she's just like, Jack, move now, faster, quickly, like, and she's sort of clapping and starting to run up the stairs.
Amazing. So with your hands, now I didn't make you roll for this initially, but you do have stairs that are falling apart in front of you. You have a dark hallway to pass through, and not a lot of time to do it in. So speed, it's going to be a speed task balance for this one, and your difficulty for this will be 6. So you might want to spend effort or use things.
I got an 18.
Jack, if you're trying to keep him together as you're running up these stairs, that's going to be even harder for you. It's going to be a task difficulty 7.
Okay. I'm going to use an XP to re-roll that.
Of course.
That's just great.
Is there any way I can aid him in this?
If you'd like to stay behind, but it would take your conscious effort to aid him, so you would be left behind in this case.
I think she'd probably do that because she wouldn't be thinking.
My cat's had my pencil. I can't think of a pencil.
I don't think you're going to be able to get there, Scrat, even with, because you rolled an 8 on a difficulty 7.
Yeah.
So like
it's nigh impossible. So you're going to be engulfed in the explosion behind you. Felicity, what did you roll?
I rolled an 18.
18. You are out of there with very little trouble. Perhaps it's because you removed your shoes earlier. Your heels might have gotten caught up in the actual like divots themselves. Even if you were wearing flats, they might have flown off. But you're able to maneuver your way up the stairs. Jack, however, you are going to take.
I think I can actually do it. Like if I'm right, the difference between 2 and I'm not using a pencil, so I'm struggling here. But if like 7 minus 2 is 5, right? It's 2 points of speed per thing, so that's 10 points of speed.
You can only use 1 effort though.
Yeah, you're at tier 1 unless you bought more effort. But you do have resilience against some fire, and you have armor. So if you could roll me a d6.
Yeah, sure. It's a 1.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, during this whole explosion, you get caught up in the staircase as the whole thing falls on you. So you're going to take 9 points of damage from that, and that's without taking into account your armor, so 7. And then from the actual heat and steam from the explosion, you will be taking another 10 points. So you're likely going to survive this. The person on your shoulder, however, will not be. But after all is said and done and the place is crumbling, they get you out. The real issue that happens from this is likely, Felicity, you can't do this on your own. Everyone was assimilating to the museum anyway. You might want to get there before the fire department pulls this craggy man carrying a rusted man.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I didn't want to interrupt, but you said we were at the museum. I mean, certainly we would have been well behind them and not close enough to join in. But could we have seen that they had sort of wandered off and gone looking for them, and maybe as this noise started to happen, be close by to give them, help pull Jack out.
Yes,
I was going to say, because Felicity will be shouting for Jack anyway, so you'd probably hear.
Absolutely.
I have another question. That 10 points, does that have to come off my might pool?
It comes off your might, and then once your might is reduced to 0, it takes from speed.
Okay, Cool. Okay, I am not down then. Cool.
Yep, you're going to survive this. You're just going to be very debilitated from it,
Yeah.
so to speak.
So we're in the museum. Do we hear the cops coming?
Yes, you would. At least after this noise is sounded, you hear the alarm bells go off in the museum, and then you would hear cars coming. Probably it would take about 5-10 minutes afterward to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Just about the amount of time that it would take to get Jack out of there.
I look at somebody and I go,
Question, do we want the cops here?
We don't want to get caught. Can
Great! I was about to say, Lucille bolts it out the front door to the edge of the curb, and it's going to be there when they get there. And yeah, you just let me know when they arrive.
Beautiful.
In the meantime, just to help get him out, I have muscles of iron, which basically gives me for the next 10 minutes all might-based actions other than attack rolls that you attempt to have their difficulty reduced by 1 step. Can I use that to help get this process even faster for getting Jack out and getting us to? I'm assuming Michael's car is somewhere.
Yeah, no. Michael would have pulled the car up, just waiting, probably at the
Like a side
loading
entrance.
dock, where they load in all the other stuff.
Nice. So yeah, that is no issue. It merely takes time to do so. And for moving this amount, I'm going to give it a might cost from the beginning of 2 points. And then it merely takes about 10 minutes. You don't need to roll here to do so. You just need to spend the might cost, and the mights of the iron thing helps you in order to do this. If you'd like to do it faster, that's where I need a roll, and you might want to because the cops are coming.
I think I want to do it faster, so I'll spend the might points and then try to do it faster.
Cast difficulty is going to be 4 for this, so it drops down to a 3.
So it'll be a 3, and
not trying to lift up the whole thing, just trying to lift up what you need to get him out.
Of there. So,
and Jack, you can help with this as well.
So is that considered an asset since he's helping from the inside?
Yes.
Okay. So do I need to add anything?
So I'm adding the asset to mine.
He's actually adding it to his roll. The other option is that you could both try to roll for it, but because you're debilitated, it adds an extra complication to it.
Yeah, because you don't have a might pool right now.
No.
And because
the aiding is just like, no, don't pull that one. Ow, that hurts. Pull this one. That kind of thing.
This is pretty important, so I'm going to go ahead and use an effort as well. So I'm going to have an effort and an asset on difficulty 3, 2, 3. So I'm using some might here. Get my buddy out. Let's go. 16.
Excellent. So you're able to pull it off of him, and when you do so, you find that on him is just this sort of remainder of how do I put this? It just looks like a skeleton made out of metal, covered in clothing. And for the 16, you're able to do this in a way that allows you to find in that sort of crumpled up clothing the personal effects of this man, including a note. And if you'd like to remain here, you can, or you can just like crumple it all up together and bring it with you.
Bundle it up again. The whole idea here. Can we actually take? I mean, you say the skeleton's sort of made out of metal. So, I mean, does it crumble? Is it rusted?
Crumbles.
It crumbles.
Yeah, it's rusted and crumbles, but you can sort of like fold it into its own clothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Just especially being careful in case there's an artifact in there. I don't want to touch it and sort of keep it bundled up in the cloth, just because I don't know what it is. But again, my whole thing here is speed. Get us to not get caught with being real magic.
Yep.
And get out to Michael's car.
Yep. You managed to pull him out. Meanwhile, good point. Scrap can take his recovery roll in this time. Thanks, chat. Lucille, the cops show up. They get out, pull on their hats, and start walking up the stairs. So it is the local fire department.
Okay, so as soon as they like pull up on the curb, Lucille's gonna start making a scene. So before they even try to even walk in the front door, she's just like, she like faints to the ground, sobbing, "Oh my god, they went that way! They came running out and went that way!" And she points for the cops to follow.
Go ahead and roll me an intellect task. It's going to be difficulty 3 for this one.
Okay, cool. I also have, I don't know what this means, but I have some kind of special ability in deception.
Oh, yep. You drop that down to a 2. What'd you got?
Drop that down to a 2.
Yep. So it was 3.
Okay. Oh, I got a 19, so that was a piece.
Oh, awesome. And then you get an extra good thing from that. So I would say for your 19, a couple of them do have to remain to check out the building and the crime scene, but a couple of you get the description of the car, what they look like, who they are, who do you think they are, and then they jump into their car and attempt.
Okay. Yeah, I go, "Oh my god, I don't know. They just came running out of the building." And then she sees the other ones that want to stay and go, "Oh," and she's gonna try to distract them for as long as possible, like give them her side of the story and like try to keep them from going straight to the scene of the crime. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
You'll deter them for a few more minutes, which is like before you were angling for time to get him out of there, and now you all have time to actually get him to a car as well.
Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, and you guys maybe even hear Lucille like off the disco going, "Oh, you're gonna go in the museum now! Oh, yeah."
At this point, Felicity walks out because she knows she's pretty useless at helping them dig out Jack. She's completely forgotten as well that she is covered in like a debris, I guess, and she's just walking down the steps of the museum towards Lucille, completely bare-footed as well. So she just sort of walks up. She's like, she's heard everything that Lucille has said, and she's just like, "What are they still doing here? Why aren't they catching them?"
I don't know. The coppers seem to not really want to do their job.
And she looks at them and she's just like, "What kind of police do you have in this country?" And starts making a bit of a scene. Like, "I came here expecting just good people, and so far I'm no, I can't, otherwise I'm going to cry." And she just sort of starts wandering over.
Now you've upset it. Good job.
Michael walks up. "Hey guys, where's Jack and Simon with the stuff?"
We don't. What stuff? We don't come to museums for stuff. Like, nudge him.
I look at the cop. "I'm with the press. I saw everything happen. They went that way. You don't remember anything." And he places a hand to his head and erases his memory.
Oh. Have you been able to do that this whole time?
Yeah, this is basic. This is basic. Adept
Go
stuff.
ahead and roll me an intellect task to do that. Your difficulty for this is going to be 2.
Let's see.
And you didn't think to come over sooner?
It's true. I was working real hard. I broke up a sweat, and you can just erase the memories.
I was letting you guys have your your fun.
Yeah, he felt bad about this for a while, and now he's not going to remember anything. What's your roll?
A 9, so beats difficulty 3.
Yeah, you go to touch him. He instinctively goes for his weapon, but by the time he does, he doesn't remember why he's going for it. Nor does he remember what he's doing here.
Yeah.
I place a hand. "You did an amazing job. These young women were about to be mugged. You scared off the perpetrator. He went down the street, hang a left. And you know what?" And he takes out like a $5 and he puts it in his little frocket. "Go buy yourself a box of donuts on me."
Yeah, and Lucy leans in and goes, "My hero," and
Beautiful.
like gives him a kiss on the
She's just
cheek.
fanning herself. She's not really doing much else.
Brilliant.
So let's talk about what you find next, and let's talk about recovery rolls a little bit. So have you taken that yet, Jack? You can spend an action to roll a d6 and add your tier to go and disperse into any pools of your choosing in any amount that you roll.
Okay, so I rolled a 3, so I can put 3 in one of my pools?
Yes, or 2 in one and 1 in another, up to your pool total value.
I think I'll put all 3 in might because, yep.
Sounds good. You can now spend points from might again, or not, or just take a hit. But as you all converge again, you can share information if you wish about people filling banks with sand. This note that you got off of the body, it's instructions about what was to be taken and where it was to be taken. Apparently it was going to one of the docks that you were at earlier. It was meant to go on a boat to go to an island somewhere off the coast of Silver City, in which they were going to be trading them out and doing some sort of business. There's not a lot of information based on that, but it is signed by Chet.
Oh,
but he's using another name here, and it's going to be a different name. I need a name that really reflects the amount of, amount of whimsicalness in his eyes.
Oh,
Mesmer.
Mesmer. He's calling himself Mesmer, but Lucille, you recognize his handwriting.
Oh, that's not Mesmer. That's Chet.
Chet?
It's always Chet. Yeah, it's always Chet. It's just Chet. He's always involved in something that means no good.
Lucille, what kind of flowers do Chet like?
Well, I wouldn't know because he never bought me or himself any flowers. Maybe you can ask his wife, since they probably had a wedding.
He has a wife?
Oh, no.
Yes, in fact, he does. And she is just a knockoff of me.
Where does she live?
Well, she lives at their apartment up on 3rd Street.
How old is that apartment?
Well, I have to be honest with you, Michael. I don't know.
All right. Thank you.
I wasn't allowed to live there. He had a special apartment he kept me in.
The beautiful thing about magic is you can start a fire and it leaves no chemical trace.
Well, maybe we shouldn't burn his apartment down.
No, I'm not going to burn his apartment down. I'm going to burn his wife. He's going to be with me forever.
That's very Medea of you.
There was something that happened in that car ride where
that car ride's getting very interesting.
Michael,
I think we're going to need to take care of that.
I think you've become a little obsessive over Chet, and I just need you to understand.
I'm not obsessive.
It's not healthy, dear. It really is.
I'm not obsessive. He loves me.
Right, like he loved me?
Well, you...
What about me?
You could have just been nagging him.
I don't nag.
Well,
Oh no,
Simon!
Simon, if I've learned anything.
Nag.
If I've learned anything, Simon, stay out of this. Just stay out of it. It's a trap. Just stay out of it.
Yeah, and she says, do not make me take off my head. Do you understand? I will turn this car around and we will go back to the theater and nobody is getting to use their powers today.
I'm sitting there driving. How are you going to turn the car around? I'm the one driving.
Well, if you hadn't noticed, I can dismember myself. And she like pops her two hands off and she says, double flappage for everybody. We are, in fact, going to a party. So I need all of you to get yourselves dolled up because we, in fact, have an invitation to Chet's, to Don Leone's party. And
I
I'm
slam
gonna
on
go
the
as
brakes.
Wow! She said, "Whoa, what?
We going to Don Leone's?
Well, that's where Chet's gonna be. Isn't he just the apple of your eye?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I thought so. So,
But hold on, I'm not going into the jaws of it. And I point at the rusty bag of bones. I don't end up like that guy. I mean, Jack's on his way to becoming that guy, but I don't want to be that guy.
Well, I don't want to be a guy neither.
No, I don't want to be dead.
I don't want
crazy.
to be dead neither. I'm just saying. I look just like his wife, or she looks like me. His wife looks like me, which means that I am, in fact, the classier end of this.
So wait,
I say I
would you
sneak
say
in
that
and
he's
she-
into people who look like you?
I would, in fact, say that. Yes, I
So
would.
so if I were to incinerate you and his wife, I would remove all opposition, and he would have no choice but to come to me.
I mean, Michael, this whole incinerating thing is getting a little bit, it's a bit creepy.
It's
Do
true.
you need to talk about that? I mean, do you want to have a little chat? Maybe we could go and have a beer or something and just talk it through?
I'm sorry, but I'm taken. By Chet Manjaw. Maybe you've heard of him.
We're going to need to talk to the editor about this. But first, perhaps, Don, the docks. The question is, do we want to go to the docks? Should we want to go to Don's? And I think we need to get all the artifacts in order to try to either undo or stabilize what's happening to Jack.
So, do you think they'll be at the docks? How are we going to get past them?
Well, so can I look at the note and also see if there is one of the artifacts that the editor had talked about that perhaps this person was holding it or wearing it or had it in a pocket or is in there again carefully to not touch anything?
Yeah, you can view the note over again. This seems to just be going to the docks to go to a private island. Not a lot of people own private islands, and you get the feeling that it's connected with Don Leone.
Oh, I see. And now the invitation in terms of, so the note is giving us like a time and a date of like transport? Or what is the note actually, what information is it giving us other than it was written by Chet?
You're getting the information that these items were being taken to an island. You're not sure which island that is, though. You know it's connected with Chet. You know Chet's connected with Don Leone. You will have to investigate further.
Yeah.
And this party is a good way to do that. Unfortunately, they compartmentalize a lot, so they were not given as much information as these sort of low-level transport guys.
Yeah, okay.
With my sort of upper class connections, what do I know? Do I know things about Don Leone?
Oh, yeah, sure. Roll me an intellect check. There's no task for this in particular. Go ahead and treat yourself with an asset to it, and then tell me what you get, and I'll give you as much information as the roll deems.
I rolled a 2.
You've never quite you've tried to separate yourself from that crowd, and it could very well be, if you don't mind, my intrusion upon you. Take an XP and give an XP to somebody else. Your area that your theater is in is widely protected by him. You know enough about him, he would recognize you in a room. He would recognize Lucille in a room. His area is your area. So you're well protected under that, but you also have learned not to ask questions because of it, and therefore don't get a lot of information. So your intrusion basically is that it's going to be easier for him to recognize you when you go to the party. So you'll kind of be like, your hand will be forced to be a social butterfly in this case.
Right. I'll go ahead and give my assets to Jack, and because I think he's going to need it before, so he doesn't die at some point. So I looked at everyone and go, Lucille, you know, Dawn is a patron of ours. If you're going under another invitation, that's could get complicated for us to head up there. I mean, did she look enough like you that?
Well, she looked like a bad knockoff version of me, but yeah,
So,
I could get away. I could get away with it.
Right, but Don's seen you. He's seen the act. He is, he could never mistake the original from a cheap knockoff. I'm saying, trying to appease her, as things got a little heated.
Yeah, Luke says, all right, All right, all right. Well, then maybe we just go as ourselves, if he like knows us and all that.
It's true, and I'm just wondering whether we need more information from Dawn at this point, or whether we need to try to intercept this shipment of the other stolen goods that were taken when Todd didn't do his job.
We don't know where this shipment's going or when. We've got to get that from Dawn himself. So I say we get all dolled up, we go to the party, and maybe we just play it up to old Dawn Leone that we're interested in being part of something larger in the community, if you know what I'm saying. Get involved.
That's true. We've always stood aside a little bit,
and we always pay the rent. We don't get in his way, and he's always making eyes at me, and that could cause us some problems. Between him and old Chet. I say we use the situation. Yes, Michael, Chet will be there.
Hold up. No, wait. No. I mean, great, but you want to get in bed with the mafia?
I didn't say get in bed with them. That's a whole separate stream of events. I'm just saying we could, in fact, pretend like we are interested in becoming involved with them, just to get the information we need to get to the docks and get the items.
We could always just take Don Leone hostage.
Oh, yeah, you obviously haven't met Don and his 24 of his close personal friends who are the sizes of rhinoceroses.
It's true.
You know what? I miss the desert. I miss the desert, Felicity. That's
yes, but we have powers they do not.
And
maybe we could, in fact, get Dawn alone in a room.
Perhaps. But yes, I look at Michael and go, and the real press will be there as well. He doesn't throw a party without everyone knowing about it and being a whole gala event.
I am real press. I have a press badge.
Right.
But, so, sounds like we're going to a party, everyone. I look at Jack and go, you're going to need to borrow some clothes.
Costume closet, boss!
What's wrong with the safari gear? I mean, this is okay, isn't it?
Oh, it's a whole different type of safari going on, and it's twice as dangerous.
Choice.
You look like you just got off the boat there, bud.
Well, what
did.
Michael said.
I lift an eyebrow at Michael. Do you at least have a suit?
I am in a suit. This is my good suit.
Maybe, a
You got like a
snazzy
wrinkled
one.
press suit, I assume, yeah?
Boss, we should have everything back at the costume closet. And, and you, Felicity? Oh, have I got a dress for you? It's a little short, low waist. It'll be perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna do a montage.
Montage!
Yeah, we're gonna do a montage. Everyone, just tell me what your character ends up wearing and how they feel about it. Actually, let's do this one step in the other direction. Let's all talk about what each other, like everyone dresses somebody else, and then you can make me an intellect roll to see how comfortable you are in it.
Okay.
God.
So, Felicity, what are you putting on Jack? Because you're probably going to dress him. You're like, no, you got it.
Not working or something.
No sound, Alice.
Yeah, you're not muted in Zoom, but we can't hear you.
Weird.
Say again.
Did you jiggle the wire?
Did you your wire?
Turn it off on them. We're so helpful. I'm sorry.
You did.
Is there a mute button on the other end of the?
Is it on the headset?
Yeah, you might have muted the headset.
Hang on, tech support.
Tech support.
Tech support is on the way. Meanwhile, let's have Simon dress Michael.
So Simon goes over to the closet, and Simon has a fairly large array of very well-tailored clothes and things, and he is going to take out something conservative, but also very much sort of a higher class, sort of a three-piece.
Anyone hear us?
Mhm.
Hey, that means that makes so much sense why no one can hear me lately. I was like, no one's answering my questions. Sorry.
Yes, 1 second. We're having Simon dress Michael in the meantime.
Yep. So, it's a it's probably a three-piece number or four-piece number with a smart tie. They're all color coordinated. Probably a lot flashier than he would like. It's it's probably like in a because this is the 20s. It's not a zoot suit, but it is probably in a brighter, sort of like a wine-colored, like purple, deep magenta type idea, and pretty snazzy. Gives him a nice fedora to wear with it, and it's 1920s party gear.
Awesome. Michael, who would you like to dress? And what do you put them in?
It's an odd question.
It is a very odd question. And I'm just playing off of Michael's general form of spite. Like if somebody's going to tell me how to dress, I'm going to tell somebody else how to dress.
I'd like to dress Chet. No, I'm gonna hit up Simon.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm gonna put him in a very conservative suit. Nothing flashy. Very mute. Very.
Oh, look at his
I'm gonna
face.
blend in.
He's so upset about it.
It's nice gray with a gray tie and a gray vest.
And that's fair. Like you're gonna be recognized there, and you might want to like stall that for as long as possible. But that's wonderful. And Felicity, let's have you dress Jack.
Okay, so she's probably looked over at the others whilst they're doing it because she's not too sure because this is American fashion, not British fashion. So she sort of dug out like a white shirt with and almost like a navy blue pinstripe suit with a matching waistcoat, and just tried to find the most outrageous shoes she could possibly find to put on his feet. Very much like Scrat's wedding shoes.
I was gonna say, so basically any Friday night out with Adam.
Yeah. So yeah, she's trying to copy the others, but it's almost like a blend of English and American
Beautiful
fashion, and again a fedora to almost so that it's something to hide his face.
Wonderful. And Lucille, how do you dress Felicity? I'm pretty sure Lucille can dress herself. Like anyone who tries.
Lucille like comes out like ready to go. And she's also pulled, so she's dressed in like a very flapper style, like beaded, knee length, low waist, box cut, very vintage 20 flapper dress. And hers is like white and silver, and then she pulls out like a gold and green one for Felicity off of the rack and puts her in it, which is it's very similar in nature, beads along the bottom, kind of like cuff sleeve, low waist, and she does your hair and your makeup. She does the little lips and the she's
very excited. This has never happened. Normally she's traipsing around in desert gear, so this is interesting but exciting for her.
Yep, we look the part.
Yep. And the not to go to waste, the invitation that you picked up would be very easily forged by the newsprint at the they would be able to easily forge you tickets and give at least some of you fake names, though, due to Simon's insight from earlier. Might not be the best idea to give Lucille and Simon fake identities, mostly because you'll be recognized. Yep. But you'd be able to do it for the rest of the tickets.
Cool.
If you forge some. And if you do choose to go in that direction, the News Guild has more news for you.
I'm going to go ahead and hit a recovery roll just because before we go into this encounters.
Absolutely. You can spend your action if you haven't. You can spend your 10 minutes, your hour. You probably will not have enough time for the 10 hours, though.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to use my 1 hour one for it, and I'll use that roll. I forgot to reset it, but it was only a 2. But I'll throw my 2 back into my might.
Beautiful.
So so we're going to the Newsies to get forged ones, and talk to the editor as well to see if Michael is underneath of if he is somehow this what might be the duration of Mesmer's powers.
When you ask these questions, the editor isn't sure what the duration is. She suspects it has something to do with the will of the person under them, and how hard they fight it. In addition, there are a few more crop ups of events, more banks, more sort of federal establishments just full of sand, up to and including police departments, fire departments, all of these federal places being targeted to dismantle and or shut them down, essentially, from moving. Nothing being stolen from these places. They are just being shut down.
Stolen from the banks, but just shut down the.
Well, once they cleared out the sand or started digging, it appeared to be that they just filled it full of sand. There was no theft
of money either. So it's
money either.
Yeah. So the banks are just full of sand. So
shutting
down
They're turning everybody into sand.
The real question, I think, is why? If they're not stealing nothing, and they're just turning people why?
Conspiracy theorists. Same people who thought that the gold in California is fake.
Well,
yeah, it's possible. So
planted there by the government.
But yeah, that's basically the news the editor has for you. These seem especially targeted places. They've already mapped it out. Seems to be a rough area. And upon looking at it, Simon, because you're more or less in this area, this seems to be a lot of Don Leone's territory. In this, including stretching out into other Dons' territories as well. But yeah, as far as the Mesmer's abilities go, it's going to depend largely on the charmed person to fight it.
Someone's, we thought this was, we remember Chet has worked for the Mafia before. I mean, I assume Don Leone is part of the Mafia. With a name like that.
Yeah.
Just double checking. Someone's shutting down the crime lords. I wonder whether this Sandstorm and Mesmer are actually working together or at odds.
I don't know. I guess my question is, if they're shutting down the crime bosses, why are we bothering them? They're doing our jobs for us.
Well, perhaps Don Leone might need some help, and having a favor with Don Leone would not be a bad thing to have in our back pocket once in a while.
I mean,
okay.
I don't know what your job is, Lucille, but my job is not to be shutting down crime lords. I just want to find that item so that I don't die.
Well, I think that's all part and parcel. So
it's true.
Let's go see what the mood is at the party, shall we?
Oh, I love a good party.
I put my arm out to take Lucille on my arm.
Yeah. So in this version of the 1920s, we kind of established that prior to this game, that speakeasies aren't necessarily a thing, the private clubs are. And this is because the prohibition on alcohol never happened.
Right.
The prohibition on something else happened. I was thinking somewhere along the lines of like some sort of cleaning but we can establish that later. This is Don Leone's private club. And as you arrive, there are Model T Fords going up and down the street, private valet parking. You can take your own car or hail a cab. Once presented with the tickets, they look them over once or twice. Recognize some of you, don't recognize most of you, and you are let in. There is a VIP section, and the tickets that you forged were VIP.
Oh,
Nice.
As as this lady would have had. When you enter, the people at the door are heavily armed, built, not unlike the gorillas from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
yeah.
They are huge, like almost to an impossible size. Like they're 6'5", and about like 4 feet wide at the shoulders. They are giants. Each of them are heavily armed. And when you go into the hallway, beautiful people dressed in flapper regalia. There's a live band playing, big band and swing. And as you walk down the hallways, there have been posters put up the entire way into this ballroom / bar. Once you pass by a second set of guards who let you in, and you recognize this is probably the place that they would stop the cops would they try to come in. These posters, as you enter in, have sort of what's the word? Not patriotic sayings. It's stuff like "What can you do for your country?" and stuff like this. But for these in particular, has a picture of Don Leone, a bald, smiling man with like his hand over his heart, and it says, "Put your trust in Don Leone. A new protection for you, a new way to spend your money, a new way to keep you safe." And in the background of these are images of small people in vector art flying or lifting cars.
Is it just me, or is this propaganda on these advertisements for Dawn? Advertising getting some, a special powers.
Not wrong.
Does seem that way.
These are
I
only
don't know.
inside the building.
He could be lifting a crate and jumping in the air very excitedly.
Yeah. I see that interpretation, but I'm just saying, it makes sense for them to be collecting these quest items so that they could give people powers.
Whole new level of racket.
We thought this was about money and taking out crime bosses, and I'm just Lucille. I'm not terribly smart or nothing, but I'm just saying, this is scary.
He's making a super team.
Dun dun dun.
A legion of doom. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, geez. I guess, we got to stop him.
Well, first let's see what he's already gotten, because why would he be filling his own territory with sand?
Might not be him. It might be a rival mob boss.
Think somebody's trying to stop him?
He's shutting down the public services, so he's the only game in town.
Oh, he's monopolizing.
Which we all know is against the law, so we should call the proper authorities.
Sometimes there are crooked coppers that you can't really trust them. And I tell you, if he's
It's going to be hard to answer the phone through the sand, but they will try.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, if he's planning on giving normals powers, He's definitely promised the cops some power.
Oh, no, not the cops, like the editor.
Oh, I understand.
Did you just assume my organization?
I don't know. I don't know that I make assumptions in honesty. I will say that you have some secret stuff going on, so I did, in fact, make an assumption.
All right, that's fine. That's, perfectly normal.
Oh, that's good. I love being normal.
And she like cracks her wrist.
Yeah. As you make your way into this ballroom, after viewing these posters of propaganda and putting 1 and 2 together, you come into this beautiful room. The music, it's louder. It's like people dancing, doing the Charleston, doing the foxtrot. There are waiters going around, and there are pillars going around the room with cutouts in them where people stand. People who are large, much like the bouncers outside, who are doing things like ripping barbells in half. There is a waiter zipping around, super speed, getting people drinks, moving with like just effortless.
Do we spot
the kind of speed that makes Jack like, why did I get this power? Or why not that one?
Yeah.
Kind of reach out for them.
Do we see him, Leonie?
Don Leone, he is in. So there's a second story, a balcony to this, and you can see a curtain drawn where Don Leone, this giant of a man, sits and watches. You can barely see him from where you are, and he's surrounded by his goons.
That answers that question, doesn't it?
Well, would you like me to try?
Felicity walks up to it. Is that him?
That's him. You know, he has a soft spot for ladies.
Well, maybe we should go and say hello.
I think he would like that.
I grabbed them real quick. What's the plan? Are you acting like you're going to join him? That the gig is up? What are you going to talk to him about?
Well, I don't think telling him the gig's up is a good idea.
I don't either. That's
it might get a little bit angry, and I don't think we're in a position to fight our way out of here.
I was hoping. I was thinking that maybe we just tell him that we want to give him our efforts and tell him that we had heard he was collecting people with powers.
Oh, Lucille. Do you remember when we did the spring fling and your big show-stopping number? Perhaps you should revisit that for this gathering of folks. Make a nice distraction, so maybe Jack and I and Michael can see if we can find the artifacts. They're somewhere close by.
Oh, okay.
No one can draw attention and stop a show, be a showstopper and a grand finale better than you, dear.
It's true.
Or we could just, go up to him and say, I'm interested in getting magic powers.
Oh, and pretend like we don't got none.
Why don't we just go and have a nice little friendly chat and
See how it goes. If you start in your act, we'll either go one direction or the other. Either call us over, start your
whatever you would like to do. We actually have to wrap in a few minutes specifically for Lucille. So Lucy, let's give you the stage here. How would you like to handle it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to go right up to him?
Yeah, I would say she's going to go right up
and say, Mr. Leone, it's been so long. I am just so appreciative of being able to come to your party. I was hoping I could, do a little performance for you as a thank you.
Instinctively, his goons block you off, but he raises a hand and parts them and says, "Come forward."
Oh, okay.
I know your face. Who are you?
Oh, I am, in fact, the magician's assistant that works over at the theater.
Oh, yeah, I know you.
Yeah, You should. We put on a performance. We always pay our rent on time, and this is our first time coming to one of your parties. So I simply wanted, do a little show for you.
Did you bring what's his name?
Simon?
Yeah, the magician. You brought him with you?
Yeah, he's always my hot date.
Go ahead and roll me an intellect check. The plan was to generally, if you're trying to do this still, to sort of lie to this guy, tell him like, oh, I'd squeeze in and say like, oh, we want some powers, and tell us how you're going to do this.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So she says, oh, yeah, he's here too. In fact, we was most interested in talking with you about your newest business endeavor.
Go ahead and roll me an intellect check. It's going to be a task difficulty 4.
Nope.
Beautiful. He leans over at you, and I'm going to go ahead and spend my die to turn that into an intrusion, because I still have that good old nat 20 that somebody gave me. Mm-hmm. He's going to lean over at you and go, I know you know about my business. It's fine. It's why you're here. But let me tell you, you and that magician friend of yours who does real magic, you were the ones who inspired me to go down this path. I love magic. I love the idea of sleight of hand. I love fooling people. And I loved the idea that it was real. And now here we are. Look, I'm making my own magic, and soon they will be calling me the Pharaoh.
Wow, that was a lot. Yes, in fact, you have powers. But we was hoping, we could either, bring some more people to your side. We are, in fact, behind you in making all these super people. And we wanted to join your efforts.
Did you? Because that's not what Chet said.
Well,
it's not what Chet said when he saw you riding the top of a car with Simon in front of you.
What Chet
trying to stop my efforts?
No, we're not stopping. We were there to help. He was just not driving very well, and
he snaps his fingers, and the guards behind you grab you by the shoulders.
Can I fall apart?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can definitely fall apart. The bartender who's serving you, Jack or Felicity, they turn to you as that finger snaps almost instinctively. And Simon, you notice that at this point people are following you. Michael, you're the only one they're leaving alone. They don't know who you are. You made eye contact with the guy, and you're still able to evade him, perhaps because of the editor's influence on you made you slightly harder to remember as a journalist.
As he notices his friend starting to get gathered out, he looks over at Don, and he's going to mind slice him.
Okay, he can certainly try. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check.
That's a 9. I'm going to spend an EXP to reroll.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. Can I spend another one?
Yeah, you can spend as many as you want.
Okay.
All right. The dice are telling the story here.
Right. We in trouble. Lucille goes,
okay.
Oh no! She falls apart.
You try, and it feels as though perhaps that Don has some powers of his own, sort of warping your ability to do this. Perhaps there's somebody in the room making that fail. You aren't sure the difference which, but it seems that this group has wandered straight into trouble. And I think that's going to wrap it for us. Although we do, Felicity, you still have a
I was going to say, I still have a
nice thing to do. What would you like to do with that?
I was going to ask, is there a candle on the table?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many candles. There's a big ol' bonfire in the center, decorative candle going up the column.
Don Leone and obviously all his henchmen have sat, Lucille's dropped to the floor, really, hasn't she? Apart from, so can Felicity just sort of use my advantage effectively and literally make a blast of fire burst out from the candle.
Ooh, roll
and
me an
into their
intellect
faces.
check. It's going to be a test difficulty. It's going to be hard. You can shape it, and you're trying to do something with magic that you haven't done before. So this is going to be a difficult check. It's going to be 5, a test difficulty 5. You can spend effort to reduce it. You don't need to know magic to be able to spend effort to do this kind of thing.
Okay.
Spend 3, it reduces it to a 4, and remember, you still have that thing to re-roll it.
I was gonna say I've got I rolled a 14. So can I expend another XP just to re-roll that?
If you spent the effort, you've got it.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll expend the effort as well.
Yeah. Fire blazes across the room, creating a distraction, and that's where we'll end. A lot of things are on fire now. Why did I not expect this?
Yeah.
I have this amazing like old 1920s cartoon thing that it goes off like a like an old flash bulb, and everyone.
That's the aim for it to effectively hit and blind them from all angles.
And we see dismemberment falling apart. Simon, whatever, Jack and Felicity there at the bar.
Next time. I feel like it's like the end of the comic book, you know? It's like next time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was Cypher System, y'all.
I love it so much.
Yeah,
it's super fun.
Yeah, lots and lots of fun. Now I'm aware that some of us need to get away. So Chelsea, you need to get away, right? Zippy, are you okay for time?
I have something at like 12:30 with Grant, but
okay, cool.
Okay,
so
cool.
Sorry I have to bolt you guys. I literally have something going on my channel in I don't know now.
Bye. Have fun drinking.
I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me over on my Twitter or on Twitch under little_red_dot. I keep all my schedules there. I play on a lot of channels. I do a lot of RPG. I could go through it all, but you could just go to my Twitter and find the schedule, or you can hop over to my Twitch channel and see what my Sunday fun days are all about. So that's me. That's what I'm doing. Thank you so much. This has been just awesome. I wanted to learn Cypher, and playing superheroes, like Golden Age superheroes, it's just perfect. It's been so perfect. So thank you all. Thank you.
So long.
Bye.
And cool. So I'll just. It doesn't look right, but I've just gone to the 4-person scene, so we've got a bit more time. So, why don't we go around? Alice, what do you think?
I loved it. I've wanted to play the Cypher system for so long, and I absolutely loved it. I love the concept. This is my favorite era in history as it is, just everything about it. I love the concept of superheroes, and I'm really pleased that I discovered mine during the thing. I thought it was quite fun to play it being a new thing, and then being quite explosive with it because she doesn't necessarily know what she's doing. But I'm probably going to spend the rest of the day drawing up quite a lot of things from this. So there's going to be a lot from this. I'm really sad it ended. I think I could have gone on for a long old time playing this. So yeah, and you can find me here or on Twitter at White Rabbit Pig. So yeah,
fantastic. And Tall School.
Oh, I mean, I played Cypher System once before. It's been almost 2 years in a Numenera campaign, and I love it. I love the storytelling flexibility of it, and so doing this and Silver Age superheroes, and I mean, I literally got chill bumps when you said Don Leone wants to become the Pharaoh. It's like, oh my God, what an awesome arch villain name, the Pharaoh. I know. I was just like, I got all chill bumps and everything. So, Scrat, I'm going to be petitioning for this to become a campaign on your channel.
I'm with Tool School on this. Like, please.
The Silver City Heroes.
Yeah.
Interactions. I think
I can easily turn this into the Kill the Superman game.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, we've got the Pharaoh and his, oh my gosh, and I love it. I'm having a blast. I am Tall Squall. You can find me all over the social media as Tall Squall. If you go to my Twitter page, you will see links to all the other fun stuff I do, including some podcasts, a campaign that I run on Saturdays at 2:00, and DM's Desk if you want to see how I do campaign prep and all that kind of stuff, and a couple other one-shots that are coming up through the next couple months. And if you're going to Gen Con, come say hi. Say you found me on Scotticus's channel or elsewhere across social media. So we will see you guys around. Have a good one.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Pascal. And yeah, I think that's definitely something we guys should talk about. Maybe not online, I don't want to pressure anyone into a discussion, but we'll talk about it offline because I'd be pretty keen for a campaign as well. Zippy, Alex, gaming.exp.
Yep, I'm Zippy Zippo, gaming.exp on the Twitters. I am Zippy_Zippo here on Twitch. Do a lot of variety gaming. I hop around to other channels and play D&D. Tuesdays, I do a City of Mist campaign over on Video Store Cowboys channel. Tuesday mornings over on the Greyhawk channel, I do Vecna Lives, which Love Lindy takes a 2nd edition module and redoes it for 5th edition. Sundays, I do Stars Without Numbers. And later today, around 1 p.m. Eastern, I think Grant posted, I'm doing a game over on his channel.
Yay.
Awesome
So,
sauce.
I just do a lot of stuff. I love the Cypher system. I like it. It's chunky, but it's a good chunky. It's like that chunky peanut butter that you want to spread on toast or toasted hot dog buns, whatever you prefer. But I like it. It's fun. It's great. It's not as number crunching as Stars Without Numbers, and it's not too free with narrative. It does have a chance of failure, and I like it. And it plays a lot like the Fate system, and I enjoy Fate. So
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed it as well today, Marcy. Like, that ending is definitely something to take away. Yeah.
I wanted to show you all the underbelly of how this is coming to be, this sort of flashy 1920s amazing thing that you would see on posters and art. But then I wanted to show you the underbelly of what it's built on first, as far as these superheroes were concerned.
Can I tell you, I totally saw that scene out of like Captain America where they go to the World's Fair and you're seeing all the Stark Pavilion, that it's this sort of, twisted underbelly, Don Leona's own little like World's Fair of his new, super protection racket. Oh, I love it. I just love that.
what if we had mob, and what if the mob wanted to make super soldiers? That's gonna be dangerous.
Oh, that's a puppy.
Oh yeah,
cry because of your dog. Oh, hello.
She just came from outside and she busted through the door. She always likes to do it. So
Surprisingly quiet though. Like when Hildy busts around, like you hear her jumping off.
Yeah,
the
she
thing.
brings you frogs as well. That's
Well,
2 today already.
so I replaced the latches on my door with magnets, because when I close my door and you look at it from the outside, it just looks like a part of the hallway. But she likes to headbutt him and just headbutt it right open every single time. Because she's like, "What are you doing in here? Are you streaming? Are you on camera? All right, well, I want to get up. Just let me get up on your lap. I don't care." And like you close the door on her and she like headbutts it open again. It's like, we can do this all day.
Yeah. Marcy, so where can we find you online? What are you up to?
I'm up to a lot of projects. Owl of Lycia on Sundays should be starting up next month. I'll have a date for that soon. So we're coming back for the first leg of the actual adventure, which is more or less just a hack of It's a Mad World. Just a bunch of people trying to get after as much money as they can. Other than that, Twitter at FELLONMARCIE. Bella and Marcy. But other than that, I've got a lot of projects going on that are still in the planning processes. But if you follow me on Twitter, those will come up as they do.
Sweet.
There we go. Link in chat for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think that about concludes it for us, guys. So, I'm Scraticus. We do this D&D thing very, very often. If you want to get involved, these are the social links you need. Discord, we talk about D&D, we talk about art, we go through character generation, rules, queries. It's generally just a really nice, friendly place to be as well. Like, I'm really proud of my group. I can brag to new people about how helpful and, cool they are. So I'm pretty proud of them. If you guys want to get involved, you can get in the diary. It's very easy. Just pop me a follow on Twitter, send me a DM, and say, hey, I want to play a game. In you go. No problem. And lastly, YouTube. Everything is up to date on YouTube. This will go up after about 24 hours because of Terms TOS. Yeah, that's that. Patreon. We've got a new Patreon reward today for any Patreon from $1 up. We did some backstory, me and Kienna. We did a solo one-on-one last night together for the Barovian storyline we're doing with Turnuk and his husband Istaros. It goes back to a time when they were happier, and she's going to use it against me so much. But if you guys want to go and see it, it's there. We've hit our first goal as well still, so that's awesome. We're on our way to the second one, so thank you so much for all the support. And lastly, I've got a competition running at the minute for some of our new merchandise, which I did show off at the beginning. I'm going to show off again because it only came in the post yesterday and I really like it. Academy t-shirts.
Nice.
I'm not sure if that's on camera or not. But yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's there. It's there. It's all good.
So if you guys want to go and get one, you can get on the Redbubble, and if you want a chance to win one, hit up the competition. That's it from me, you guys. I don't know if Chelsea's live yet. I don't think so.
Not yet. From the looks of it.
Redbubble, and if you want a chance to whoops, that's my voice I can hear. Yes, she has. She's just gone live. So let's go and invade Chelsea's channel. Keep the love in the family.
Let's go raid. Yeah.
So yeah, stick around for the raid, guys. When we get in there, let's fill the chat up with some Scrat hype. If you don't have the emote, you can just type out Scrat hype. That's just as good. And spread the love over there. I've had a lot of fun today. A lot of fun playing Cypher for the first time, and hopefully we'll play some more. Like I say, we'll discuss that.
Sorry, I turned you to stone.
It's
You're
okay.
still-
To be fair, I think that was my
you're
bad.
still a fast stone. and
Yeah.
that's-
I was like trying to think like of speedy things. Anyway, see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.